1, live.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Tyranny of Flagons! We are Appalachian Dragons. This is where me and my favorite backwoods bastards get together, and we like to play some Dungeons and Motherfucking Dragons!
Dungeons and
Yes!
Dragons.
Dragons.
Tonight
Dragons
we
and
are
Dungeons.
on session 10, if I'm not mistaken,
Yes.
of our campaign. We are going to, before we jump into it, we're going to talk just a little bit. We are still accepting t-shirt orders. If you have not already, please send us an email or join us on Discord and get a special discounted rate. You can get the Appalachian Dragons tee. I actually don't have mine tonight. Has anybody got one to rep? Cat does. Yeah, there we go. We have them available in tees as well as sleeveless tank tops. You can get that for $20, or if you're a Discord member, $5 off for only $15. Let us know if you're interested. We'll be more than happy to get one to you. We also have some fun stuff in the works for future art. Future merch options, so that's gonna be fun. We will be taking a brief hiatus in October, I believe starting October 18th, where we are going to be taking a dip into old gods of Appalachia. And we have our game master for the first session of that, probably more than that. But Josh, why don't you tell us a little bit about Luther's Folly?
Sure. So we are going to be dipping into Old Gods of Appalachia. It's not the first time we played, but it's the first time we've tried anything that's fully structured. So hopefully it is not a giant burning pile of garbage.
Yeah.
We're going to find out. In any event, it's a little bit different. It's a little more spoopy. It's a little more swingy. People can actually die. Not to say they can't die here, but it's probably more likely they'll die there very quickly. So if you're in for some Halloween shenanigans, because we will be wrapping up the day after Halloween, more than likely, pop on over starting on the 18th, and we'll try it out together.
It's the 18th.
Sounds good.
Can't wait.
With that, I think we're going to do a brief recap and get back to it. Where we last left off, the Lords of Nightstone were entangled in a bitter combat, a war of attrition, if you will, with Kay, the Drider Queen. This champion of Lolth had revealed to be the Green Worm Speaker, had used her abilities to obtain the services of a spider dragon, a absolutely massive foe that spewed its children, that didn't sound right, across the battlefield. Kay was also working with a priestess of Lull who was providing some support from the sidelines, with trying to avoid getting hit herself. The party went through this battle with Pandora, Kay's primary target, being downed a few times, but every time just barely clinging to life and depriving Kay of what she was after, which was the proper right to rule Skullport by the oldest means necessary, slaying its current ruler. This did result in the conflict warring on for quite some time. As the party was eventually able to finally down Kay, they noticed that the spider dragon's drive, if you will, seemed subdued, as if it was compelled to assist her. During this moment, Yuan, very deftly, was able to convince the spider dragon that they meant it no harm, and that if it were to leave, that it could leave in peace. A rather artful negotiation with a creature of surprising intelligence. I think it was tied for the highest intelligence on the field, actually. The spider dragon seemed to agree and left the cavern as the 13 skulls of Skullport continued to blaze, killing the drow that were here serving Kay, as well as the spiders and the demons that had come from Wolf's realm, burning their way across the city and eventually clearing it of its thick web. The party was a little late in realizing that there was a ritual going on the far side of the Warrens, where all of these skulkers were held captive. They swiftly made their way over there and found another priestess of Lolth, casting a mass teleport spell, which seemed to be fueled by the siphon the party had seen Mr. Boots take earlier. The party was able to interrupt this ritual, saving dozens of skulkers from fate unknown, and murdering the priestess of Lolth when she refused to give up any information. They were also able to pick up the Fang of the Spider Queen, which we're going to talk about in just a second, and the Green Dragon Mask, both of which seem to be integral to Kay's operation. With that, I think that's the gist of it. Oh, they also discovered that the scratching post, Barbara's bar slash base of operations was being used to house all of the coin that they had found in the city, and realized that it was rather light. There was not nearly as much coin here as should have been, and before their very eyes, they witnessed as one coin opened up and ate another, and instead of doubling in size, remained the same. They were able to determine, I think Davos was the first one to note to suggest it, that the coin was not being consumed but transported, and that these little mimic coins had been spread about far and wide, including the party's very own bag of holding. They were able to draw this out to discover it and exterminate it, and found that there were several more in the pile of the Skulker's hoard. After exterminating these, they made plans to disseminate that information and provide some of their allies with this so that they can keep an eye out for these infiltrators as well. With that, we are going to pick back up on session 10 of Tyranny of Flagons!
Dead bitches. You know what I mean?
And
Wow,
that's
I'm-
how I know. That's how I know for sure that the zombies are taking over from the inside of our government. Have you seen Mitch McConnell's face? I'm sorry. Anyway, as we returned to the city of Skullport, now in a state of beginning to fall into order. We do have one thing that I forgot to bring up last session, and that is the Fang of the Spider Queen. This was the artifact that Kay seemed to be using. And while you didn't see its full array of abilities, you saw enough to get the gist of it. I'm going to give you a quick rundown. For one, instead of a traditional 1d4 for this dagger, it deals 1d4 and 2d6. That's 1d6 necrotic and 1d6 poison. So it deals 3 damage dice instead of 1 on a hit. It can also use a charge to inflict a large amount of poison damage, or it can use charges to remove immunity and resistance, and even inflict vulnerability to poison damage. It can also inflict status conditions such as blinded, silenced, deafened, and even exhaustion. So it does have a quite an interesting utility that is available in the bag of holding. If anyone would like that as we advance, please mention it. As the chaos dies down and Avalon has received some medical treatment for her numerous wounds, she's practically mummified with bandages because, again, she had lacerations covering the majority of her body. Shallow cuts, very particular cuts, very precise as to not let her bleed out, but to cause as much pain as physically possible. Not only to her, but in her agonizing screams to cause psychic damage to Pandora. Pandora, she approaches you, still kind of limping. I believe at this point she would be with Sienna, and she tells you, Pandora, I can't thank you enough. And I apologize that my frustration and my stress manifested as hostility towards you. I know you were just trying to help, but it felt like you had put us all on the back burner so you could go off adventuring. But I see now that what you're doing is important, not just to you or to us, but Hall of Pharaoh. I owe you an apology. And
Apology accepted.
she gives you she embraces you, and I'm thankful that you're not holding her behavior against her. But says, listen, if that dragon bitch, Tiamat, if she wants a fight, she sure as hell has got one. I'll rally the skulkers and get a more practiced combat troop together. When she rears her ugly head, we'll meet her with a broadside cannon fire. And this is your little achievement unlocked. When it comes time to rally against Tiamat's forces, you now have the Skulkers, Stronghold, and Followers Battalion. So you have an army added to your already impressive lineup.
Oh, yeah.
Heck
Devin,
yeah.
oh, we're doing that? Yes, we're doing
Okay,
that.
You-
here,
yeah,
here,
you just-
hell yeah.
And then you said our units, and I was like, oh my god, he's right. We already have like a page full. I
Yeah,
forgot.
you won't have as many as last time because some units were units that
Just
came
with
to help
us
you,
at the
but that were
time?
not
Yeah.
owned. Yeah, so it'll be we'll see what you build yourselves up to. About this time, you hear a yowl as two tabaxi come rolling out of an alleyway, looking exactly identical as you see Mr. Boots and Mr. Boots neck and literally at each other's throats. A flurry of blows, a gun goes scattering dramatically toward Pandora's feet. And
5
one of
gold
them
on the orange one.
and one of them says, "Shoot him! Quick, Pandora! Fire!" The other one's like, "No! Shoot him! He's obviously some kind of shapeshifter, some sort of trickster!" Pandora, you have two people before you who look exactly like Mr. Boots. How are you going to determine the difference? Or are you just going to shoot and sort them later?
Well, I would like to turn out their pockets because I feel like the real Mr. Boots has a matching pendant with Pandora from where they were. What's that called when you elope?
Oh.
One of them might also.
I would like to check their pockets, separate them, and check their pockets.
You
Hey, Gilbert,
notice
help.
when you do this, they do cease fighting and separate, albeit with nothing but absolute disdain for each other in their eyes. You do notice that one Mr. Boots has the other gun, has the rapier, has the locket, while the other one seems to have nothing more than the clothes on his back.
I'm trying to think if there's anything they would know. Let's keep them both separated and under surveillance for the time being.
We could kill them both and bring the correct one back to life. Just saying.
Both of them go, "I do not like this plan!"
Is there anybody that has fairy fire?
I don't have it prepared.
Fairy fire. That would say if something's invisible, but it wouldn't revert its state. I think you're thinking of Moonbeam.
I could also.
Yeah, man, I was about to say, I was about to be like, yeah,
Yeah, I
go
don't
and
have
use him
it
with a moonbeam.
prepared. You could dispel magic probably. I don't know if you could hit both of them. You'd have to cast it separately. If it's a shapeshifter, that won't help.
That depends on how they're shapeshifting. If they're shapeshifting. You could always try to interrogate if you would like to try to see if you can trip one up and get an answer out of it that you that only Mr. Boots would know.
Oh, I got an idea.
Swing.
Ark's gonna growl at both of them, tell them that the fate of Faerun is at hand. The Dragon Queen of Hell is about to come back. I do not have fucking time for this, and yells at them to cut the shit out.
Roll an intimidation check for me. I have to get my dice.
Gladly. I'm gonna be like, you know what? Nah. Betting this bullshit breaks my own. We got bigger fish.
Yeah. I was like, I ain't got time for this shit.
Hold on, let me get
Nah, get it, homie.
35.
35. That's amazing. Damn. With that, with such a high roll, both of them flinch, of course. However, one, you recognize the expression of one that he's, he's flinching because he knows what you can do. Whereas the one on the right flinches because he doesn't know what you're going to do. One of them seems to be unsure if you would just rather kill them both. The other one seems confident you could, but doesn't think you will.
Well, if that's the case.
This is all the one who thinks you're going to kill them both is also the one that seems to have all of the items.
At this point, I guess I could interrogate them.
Yeah. Why don't you roll an insight check?
Insight. Oops.
Yeah, the
Especially
one
since
that's
we-
not sure what I'm gonna do, I feel like he's the one.
Yeah, I mean, one's got
Mr.
straight
Boots has a
answer,
good
one's
idea.
acting as we expect, but I want to make absolutely sure before we shake him up. Here's
Give
my
Davos
negative.
and I the nod, and we'll slide up on him, Mark. We'll make it quick.
Since you're
Wow, that
asking
was a 6
questions,
to my insight.
since you're asking questions that you know the answer to, Barbara, why don't you do me a favor? Roll with advantage. I'm gonna roll for these two. One's rolling persuasion. One's rolling deception.
Wow.
Well,
Shit.
I will tell you. Or should I not tell you? I should not tell you.
I'm trying to think if I could, if there's anything else I could, use.
One of them.
Okay, go.
Well, hang on one second, because I'm going to tell you what you learned from this particular check, and it's more what they give you. One of them, the one that has the possessions, the one that seems uncertain if Ark will kill him or not. He tells you that, Pandora, we are the champions of this city. We have fought for years to try to defend it from all those that would invade us. We cannot allow such tricks to befall us. And glares at the other. The one who has none of the items, but who seems confident that Ark wouldn't kill him, says, do you recall a day some 2 or 3 years ago? We took the 9 lives out to sea. No room for stowaways, just us and your trusted crew. We spent the night among the stars. And he gives you true details of a romantic evening. Nothing obscure or nothing obscene, but something that is much more specific than what the other one is. He even goes as far as to mention a particular scar you have that would normally be covered by your corset.
Okay. Oh, well, that complicates. And it's totally possible that the other one did steal items.
Well, we found him wrapped up and unconscious. They took all the shit off of him before they bound him up.
Yeah, no, see, that's what... Which one has spider webs on their fur?
Oh, yeah, the one who just spoke, the one who spoke about the evening at sea, does have a bit of webbing still on him. I will also say, you...
Sorry.
I need a way to put GIFs in the videos. I need it like it was yesterday. You do notice, as you do recall, rather, that the one who stole the siphon was the one that had his guns.
Yeah, and that's kind of sketchy. I don't think Mr. Boots would do that. He would leave Skullport as it is. All right, so the one with stuff, could I possibly try intimidating him by telling him I'm gonna put him, no, I'm trying to think. Hold on, I'm trying to think. I would
Nah, man,
like
it's
to
time. It's time to
put
get-
him on the gallows. Let's
Well,
string him up.
Well, I
See-
think you're not. I don't think you're going to roll higher than Ark's 35. So I don't think you're going to learn
Right.
anything additionally from that.
Okay, fair. That was the highest.
Can Goldbrand cast Hold Person on the imposter?
Which one's
one
Yeah,
we think
the
is-
one that's
Ooh, I was about to do
Not
that.
all the
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, you can do it if you want. If you have it, dude, it's so cool.
shake him upside down. Give him the shake.
I have it, but if you have more spell slots than me, you can do it.
Okay, my DC may be higher too. No, Goldbrand wants. I might even do both of them at this point, but Goldbrand would like to Hold Person the one that has the items.
Okay.
I say it's an 8.
Don't mark off the
Oh.
spell slot, because I think I said last week to do the long rest. We technically haven't done that in game, so you would have the slot. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
What's that? A const or wisdom save? Or
Wisdom
save?
18. I have
Wisdom.
a woe left too. We haven't taken
Oh,
a rest
he didn't
yet.
roll bad. Let me look at his. Oh, he rolled a 19.
Total?
Yeah.
I will roll
Yes,
my
he
last.
rolled a 13 plus a 6.
I'll use my last woe that I would have had
You
before
need at
the
least
rest.
a 2. Yeah. You watch as he freezes up. And the other Mr. Boots breathes a sigh of relief. This is very relaxed music for this very tense moment. On repeat 1. There we go. You have petrified who you believe to be the imposter. What do you do?
Honestly, I think at this point we just fucking kill Sims. If it really was Mr. Boots, this one's right here. I'll grab Hims, and we bring the other one
Grab by
back.
the scruff.
So we
Yeah.
don't think that we can get information off of the imposter, like his motives, what he was doing, why
Yeah,
he took
Mr.
the
Boots didn't
siphon.
do.
You're welcome to try. You have
Put him in
10 minutes? Hold on.
what do you call them? The stocks.
He's paralyzed
He's
now,
right.
so
That's
like...
Yeah, so you have him
Like,
paralyzed.
people
He
throw
couldn't
potatoes
flee if
at
he
him.
wanted to. Since you are now relatively certain which one is the imposter, you may roll a new intimidation check to try to get information out.
I would like to
Oh.
actually... I'm so sorry. This only lasts a minute. So Gobrand would say after he casted, you don't have very
Put up-
much times.
While he's hold personed.
Mm.
You got any information that might change our mind?
We're going to kill you when this runs out.
I would say, well, he's petrified. He can't speak. Actually, paralyzed doesn't specify you can't speak, just that you can't take actions or reactions. Or no, you're
Yeah.
incapacitated if
Yeah,
you're
which-
paralyzed.
Eh,
So I-
Fine, I'll
okay.
message him and ask him the question.
Davos will also take the precaution, knowing that this only lasts a minute, and cuff him. Use some type of chain to restrain him.
Oh, that's a
Um,
good thought. Okay.
Davos usually has those. What do you ask, Josh?
I guess I'll shoot him a message and say, my friends here seem to think you might have information that could sway their opinions on the value of your life, if you so choose to divulge it.
You sense, you don't get like a words back in your mind, but you do sense a great reluctance. You gather, this is not something that would willingly divulge this information, but since you have him captured, incapacitated, and bound, I will allow a new intimidation check. It's a decently sized check because this is something that would, under normal circumstances, die for its queen. But go ahead and roll that, Barbara. And I will say, under the circumstances, your friends bearing down on it, bound him, mentally interrogating him, I would say you have advantage.
Oh, me?
Yeah, intimidation,
Yeah.
which you now have expertise in, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I've got hella fucking intimidation.
It's fun, isn't it?
It is. I like it. Give them all the shakedown.
The best thing is you don't even got to roll a 35. I'm
Yeah,
not
right.
one of those isn't that one.
I mean, you can if you want.
That's so
Uh,
wild.
Because you have expertise in it, you can't roll below a certain value. That's correct. That's really funny. I had forgotten about that. You needed to beat a 25.
Yeah.
This entity tells you, after the spell fades, the prisoners were to be teleported to the Well of Dragons. It was part of the ritual sacrifice. Loth did not wish for Tiamat to be brought back, but had Kay cooperate with him to advance her plans of complete control of the Underdark. She was hedging her bets, knew that if the Dragon Queen was to come back, she would drive millions underground and right into her web. Will you release me now, Pirate Queen?
Who are you, actually?
Hmm.
I want to see
Uh,
who you actually are.
Gobrand wants to take his scythe and set it like the edge up against his neck while he's stuck there.
Yeah.
This might be your
Yeah,
last
Pandora's
chance to
gonna have the
immortalize
whole-
yourself.
Or you could die. We can kill you. You know?
Pandora's gonna
want-
have
You could die
the-
nameless.
motion, with her arm up, ready for the chop there.
I am nothing more, as its voice begins to shift. I am nothing more than the handmaiden of my goddess, an extension of the Spider Queen's will. And you watch as his fur begins to shift and turn a sickly yellow color as an entity that I can only describe the color and texture of earwax with a single bright
Ew.
yellow eye and a red iris. It not having a
Ew.
humanoid form, but some sort of sick, almost ooze-like creature.
Kill it.
Fucking
Kill it.
metal.
God,
Freak.
gross.
Little baby freak show.
Yeah,
Baby freak show.
that's fucking metal. Gobrand pulls.
Gobrand slays him with the scythe, and unbeknownst to this demon, because it is a demon, it will not regenerate. It did this thinking that you could not hurt it in any way that truly mattered. However, you have ended its existence on all planes, severing that thread across the multiverse.
I like to think it's a
Yeah.
solid like 5 to 7 seconds before Goldbrand realizes that. You just hear him chuckling as he's walking away, like scythe over his
Yeah.
shoulders.
You do not know a name for this creature. Anyone who wants to can make a history check or a arcana check. This is not creature, so I won't allow a nature check.
If
I
it's
love
a
it for
demon,
me.
what
They're
about
both +1.
religion? Because
Ooh,
Davos
20.
is.
Oh, religion
Wait a
would
minute.
work. I would allow that.
Oh, Davos, it's not any better, so I'm not gonna roll again. Go
Uh,
I'll
it's
Yeah,
agree,
mine's
Vince.
only a
solid.
+1 still.
I'll agree
I hope
to
we already know where
6.
the Dragon Well is.
Yeah,
don't-
yeah.
I don't think
You
so.
have a rough idea. You've never been there yourself,
Okay,
but
cool.
you know it's to the southeast of Faerun.
I just thought about that after we killed him. I'm like, wait a minute.
That's funny.
Pandora there was on impulse of, ew, gross, get it out of my city.
A 20 is pretty solid. Yuan, you recall reading something in one of your past lives of a Yochlol. That's Yochlol. And they are demon shapeshifters that exclusively serve the goddess Lol. They have the capability to turn into humanoid forms as well as a spider form. What's interesting is this one probably could have fled. They have the ability to dissolve into mist. And why it didn't do that, you think is solely because it thought you couldn't hurt it in a way that it thought it was going to regenerate in the abyssal plane and be able to come back to the material plane when it was ready. But you eliminated any chance of that ever occurring, including some of that information getting back to Lol herself.
Listen,
So there
and
you
I
go.
thought Donovan was a cool guy, but things happen.
Yeah, let this be a lesson to anybody who tries to pull this shit in my city again.
Oh
It's
yeah.
a shame we didn't ask him about the siphon.
You in fact, on that Arcana specific check from you on, I will say you gather that a teleportation circle traditionally is limited in its scale. It can only be, I think, a 10-foot circle. Where it's not a certain number of people, but just a certain area that it can do. Where this was much larger than that. You gather that the siphon was to amplify it because it is drawing energy from the mythal, a pure arcane object. Using it to upcast it in a sort of way.
Does that imply she has it back now, so it's not missing?
You gather, actually on its person, you would probably find the cracked mythal. And you would see that it is no longer glowing, that its magic has been expended. The drow priestess who was casting the spell had used it to channel this, and once it was drained, much in the case of a dead battery, was useless.
Sweet.
The gifts, though. Fantastic. Mr. Boots goes over and kicks the thing, and he picks up his guns and shakes the slime off of him and the amulet and everything else he has. This is disgusting. I understand he wanted to look more handsome. I mean, who can blame him, really? But this is just filthy.
I have to say, I'm really glad I didn't have to kill you, Bootsy.
Me too, honestly. I've heard, kill them all and let the gods sort them out. But honestly, I was really hoping you were going to be a little more practical.
Gosh, I was 100% about to kill you, bro. I really was.
His eyes grow as big as saucers.
But I didn't. But I didn't. And that's the important part.
You see him, you see a few gray hairs pop up in his orange fur, where he's just like, as you guys wrap up with Avalon and Mr. Boots, Captain Dynamite approaches and says, the Crimson Inferno crew, having assisted in clearing out the city, says, I believe we've eliminated any of the intruders. The city is safe once more. My crew needs to return up top, but if you guys need a ride, we're happy to take you up to Waterdeep.
That's where the ship is, right? You said last session.
Yeah, the Westwind. He told you the Westwind Wavering had limped into the city.
Colbrand will look at Ark and he'll say, I think we have a few more days. I can still, with some time and some rest, I can bring your crew members back to life. And unfortunately, maybe some shoppings.
Crew
I don't know.
members?
Yeah, 2 members of the Western Wyvern died when those things
Yeah.
came and took the mask away, and
Would,
Goldbrand was going to cast Reincarnate on them. It's like a 10-day limit.
when you say
That's
that,
right,
I don't think that Captain Dynamite has heard this as of yet. And his eyes
Yeah,
go.
we lost the kobolds. Yeah.
Oh, there's
We
2
lost
more though.
more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you lost young Volcano / Vulcan, as well as
That's
I
right, yeah.
think it was Penelope, the former first mate, but now the Arcanist of the ship. If
We can
you
sort it out
relate,
when we get theirs.
Yeah, we should probably stay back and recuperate a little bit.
Captain Dynamite sort of nods his head, goes, I was unaware that young Vulcan had sacrificed himself. We will remain as always under your command, Captain. Should you say the word, we will gladly face down the Mother of Dragons. If you can
Await the
truly
call.
bring him, if you can truly bring him back, Goldbrand, that would be a great boon to us. He may not be a member of our crew now, but he is always family.
We have to get to where he is.
Rest assured,
first.
I'll say rest assured, Captain. He's not the first member of the Inferno who's given his life. Only to come back again. Kind of
Captain
nudges at
Dynamite.
Kyrak.
Yeah, Kyrax and Captain Dynamite both kind of like hold their wounds where they were like killed in the Battle of Bane and brought back. Yeah, fantastic. Unless anyone has any further business in the city. Going once, going twice. Sold. You all load up onto the back of the Crimson Inferno. And
I want to make sure. I'm so sorry.
I gave you 3 chances, you bastard.
I'm so sorry. I just want to make sure to verbalize. We have the mask, right? We picked it up.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
You make your way to the water rise, where actually no, Snapmaw doesn't use the water rise. He actually submerges beneath the waters, the disgusting waters of the Bay of Skullport. Although now with fresh water coming back in again, are beginning to purify a bit. As the envelope of control water envelops the ship and keeps you all in this nice little air bubble, he makes his way through the subaquatic tunnels and eventually emerges. And after being underground for the better part of a week, it's a rather nice sight as you all come to smell the salty spray and the churning waves, as well as the gulls cawing, I guess. I don't know what they do. Squawking overhead as Snapmaw shifts his course to the city of Waterdeep. I got some pretty little art right here. I'm going to drop for you guys real quick.
Talk dirty to
Because
me.
I thought... What?
I said talk dirty to me. Will this take a long rest to get there? Question mark.
No, it's only a
Okay.
couple of hours at the very most.
Okay.
You will have one soon, though, my friend.
I can't cast Reincarnate until then. Gotta rest, change spells.
You'll still be within the 10-day period of play. There's a few different images of Skullport.
Sorry.
As you make your excuse me. As you come to see the city of Waterdeep, the high alabaster walls are worn from the coastal winds, but that makes them gleam all the brighter in the late evening sun. Spires from the various cathedrals and towers from Castle Waterdeep loom high over the walls, casting dark shadows across sections of the city, where you already see the twinkling torchlights begin to spread across like twilight wildfire. Snapmaw makes his way down the length of the city to the well-guarded walls of the bay, eventually pulling up to the dock to allow you all to disembark. I'm going to change your map real quick, friends. Goldbrand, you
I'm still
actually have...
showing art to stream. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Goldbrand, you actually have the unique recollection of passing a location now known to the locals as Barbarian's Bath.
Bath.
The-
The first time
the
Goldbrand
site-
saw the sea.
Yeah, and took a bath in it.
That's actually where he wants to cast Reincarnate. He's gonna take them out to the ocean.
Oh, that's beautiful. As you guys, Snapmaw once would have seemed out of place several years ago in this city, but since their aiding of the stopping of Donovan and the forces at Nightstone, the crew of the Crimson Inferno has been held in a more respectable position. While they are pirates, they are regarded in much the same way that they would just ships from a foreign nation. As long as they're not hostile, the guards do not fuck with them. And really, who wants to fuck with Snapmaw and a dozen or so angry Dragonborn on its back? We're going to be popping up right down here at the bottom. You don't have to drop out individual tokens. But as the gangplank is laid out, Dynamite tells you that the crew of the Westwind Wyvern were staying at the Flagon Dragon, a particular tavern to the east of the Market District. He also mentions that his contact was staying there as well if you have any questions. And he'll remind you, as always, that he is always just call away if you need him, and gestures to the glass of dissemination. I just realized we lost Josh.
Internet went down.
Ah,
I didn't see that. I was still looking at the Waterdeep part.
I hope it comes back in. Tragic. I have something for him here too. Oh well. Anything you have to say to Captain Dynamite before you guys make your way to the tavern?
I'll bid him farewell. Tell him to await the call for when we sail on the Dragon Well, or Well of Dragons, I should say.
He will oblige and begin to load up his crew once again. A few of them do head to a little seedier bar down here known as the Sleeping Snake, where they get a few drinks and prepare for at least a night's rest before they head back out in the morning. He's back on roll 20, so that's a good sign.
I was about to say, I think he's on his way.
Yeah. As you guys make your way through the city, you pass sights both new and familiar as you wander the winding avenues. The bustling trades district, this southeastern part of the map right here, seems to be dying down and closing up for the day, as thirsty workers begin to make their way to taverns and pubs that speckle the city. You pass the imposing keep of the Lord's Alliance, the towering Castle Waterdeep, and the stately cathedrals of Lathander and Helm, as well as several other gods. This part was for you on, so I'm going to hold off on it for just a second. There he is! See, I
Speak of
told
the
you, just a
devil,
second.
and he shall appear.
Can you hear us?
I am
Can
here
we
with you.
hear- There we go.
Cool.
Fantastic. Yuan, as you make your way through the city, starting down here at the very bottom of the where the dock ward is, making your way up past the trade wards through here, you catch a rather beautiful glimpse of the city cemetery, where hundreds of familial tombs and thousands of graves are framed by ancient gnarled trees and blushing blooms, all bathed in the dim glow of twilight. You also recognize a temple to the Raven Queen here. Small, modest, but well kept. You recollect from lives gone by that this is the city of the dead that Tabitha's family oversees, and of which she is a lord over. New memories stir of having been there with Tabitha a time or 12, and you feel your own face blush with a faint purple as you reset your gaze pointedly at the cobblestone path before you.
Okay.
You make your way. As I was writing this out, I'm like, what would they see in the city? Oh, yeah, I'll add that in.
Why do you turn different colors every time you're reborns?
Oh, that's for me to know and you to find out, or not.
I like the
Goldbrand just looks
faint
puzzled.
thought. I like think the faint thought crosses Goldbrand's mind. If I kill him with the scythe, would he come back? I mean, I would never, but if I had to, would he come back? You guys make your way further north to the city, and it's not long until you hear the call of the. Actually, I'm going to do one quick thing. It's not long before you hear the calls of vendors trying to make one last sale before closing up shop, and find the bazaar of the market district still surprisingly active. You can find almost anything here if you look hard enough. Potions, weapons, armor, even particular magic items, if you're lucky. We're going to do a little bit of shopping. The way this is going to work is if you have something in particular you're looking for, if it's rare or higher, you're going to have to roll to find it. If it's under that, then you can find it and we'll just do the transaction. I will also say that there is a little bit of room for haggling, but we'll see how you do. I'll do this sort of in a rotation. Goldbrand, is there anything that you wish to buy?
Sorry, I had a lot of thoughts about this earlier when we were all talking about it in chat. I had to reorder them. So Goldbrand needs. Is the rule still that we have to buy the spell components for like if it specifies a gold cost?
Yes.
Okay, so Goldbrand will return to Ark. He'll say, it is what's it called? Expensive to do this, to get the things to do this. I don't have the time. I don't have enough time to gather everything that I need. You may have to pick a crew member, up to 2, and I will gather the ingredients while we were here. You're on mute, Pam. Oh, I guess you didn't. You don't have to pick now, I guess. Goldbrand will spend, unfortunately. I'm going to do this first for getting an item. He's going to spend 2,000 gold to cast 2 reincarnates. We can
This is
buy more.
reincarnates. So it's a new form and everything.
Yes. They're alive, but
Yeah.
Question.
Well, if that's
I
the
know-
case, we got to bring back Vulcan and Penelope first. The
Let me
kobolds
ask you-
suck, man.
Let me ask you this, Goldbrand. The whatchamajigger. Oh shit, fuck me. Oh my god. Oh, is there a spell between reincarnate and revivify? Isn't there like resurrection that's a 5th level spell?
don't think I can get it.
Well, you're in quite the city, my friend.
Hmm.
Let me see.
You know, we could
Oh,
pay someone to
geez,
do it, to
that's-
his point.
That's yeah. There are temples here with very powerful mages, and if it's a 5th level spell, like I think it is, it's a 7th level spell.
But say
And it
most of the
has to be-
resurrections are stout. Reincarnate's a 4th level spell because of the 10-day thing. You may be thinking of Raise Dead.
Dead,
Which is-
which just animates them as zombies. It's not the same.
Oh, there's another one though.
There's what it lists here is revivify, reincarnation, raise dead, wish, or resurrection. There's also true resurrection. I'm gonna do one more quick glance. Revivify, raise dead, reincarnate, resurrection, true resurrection, wish.
It
The
is
two-
Raise Dead.
The true
f-
sources, excuse me, the 2 sources.
So it is Raise
Oh,
Dead.
actually,
You return
yeah.
a creature to life, provided it's been dead no longer than 10 days. If the creature's
I'm
soul is
thinking
both
of, like,
willing.
I'm thinking of animate dead, I think.
Yes, sir.
So 5th level. Okay, yes. So this needs a diamond worth 500 gold pieces. I will say that you know from talking to Bergen that you can go to some of the temples here and pay, we'll say 750 gold to bring someone back, provided they have been dead no more than 10 days, which the crew members do meet that criteria. So for 1,500 gold, you could bring back Penelope and Vulcan. Why don't you go ahead minus 1,500 in the chat, and we'll do this in a moment. Yuan, is there anything you wish? Oh, let me also back up. Goldbrand, this does not mean that you cannot purchase anything. You all have quite a bit of valuables you can sell. Please do not let this be. I appreciate the selflessness, but please, if you have something you want, please
We'll
look
look
into it.
I'm gonna look at that next, but I have to change spells because we haven't rested yet, and I had some stuff for a long downtime.
That's okay. Yuan, is there something you wish to look for or buy in the Bloodwell
I just threw it
vial?
in chat, but yes, I want to try to find one of these guys.
What level of rarity you're trying to find? A rare, very rare? Is this
Let me ask you a loaded question. If I tried to
Yeah.
find a rare one and failed, could I just purchase an uncommon one?
I might allow that. Let me read this real quick. You know what's really funny? Very nice. Interesting. So, let me do one quick check on something because I'm fairly certain of something. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I tell you what, roll an investigation check for me, or if you explain how you use a different skill, you can roll something else. But you have to make a pretty convincing argument. Essentially, how are you scouring through the market to find this particular thing?
I think that something that I never do as a character, I think I would actually, as I walk through the marketplace, I think I would just try to sweet talk the market owners and the patrons into pointing me towards a shop that might have an item of this type. Because I assume it's not I mean, it's not highly common, so I know it's going to be hard to find. People probably wouldn't be. They would try to peddle stuff that they're currently selling, right? So I think I would just try to sweet talk people into pointing me in the right direction.
I would allow you to make a persuasion check, and I tell you, if you add some gold to this, like you buy something in their shop to make them more friendly, then you certainly can, lower the DC of this.
Yeah, I mean, depending on which shops we go to, we probably I don't know how many health potions we still have, but I assume that we could always hold a few more of those. So maybe I go to like an apothecary of sorts or somewhere that sells health potions, and then while I'm haggling with the shop
Yeah,
owner a
good
little
call.
bit, I drop that I'm looking for something like this.
You find a shop that is an apothecary and has a variety of potions and several healing potions on display. You get that this is a very highly sought after item, so they are sort of front and center. Um, you see healing, greater, and superior potions. Healing for 50 gold, greater healing for 150, and superior for 450. Um, buy something and then we'll have you roll. You guys, I did update the bag of holding, so what you have listed in there should be correct as far as what you have. Doobity dap, butthole.
How much is a greater healing potion?
A 150, and it deals 40. It deals 4d4 plus 4 healing damage.
I'll probably snag one of those just so I'm not buying like a bottom shelf item and
Okay. Yeah,
go from there.
add that to the inventory and subtract 150 gold, and make a persuasion check. The DC
Cool.
is going to drop a little bit for this, not a whole hell of a lot.
Superior potion.
Well, there you go. Can't do
Oh,
any better
nat
than
20. Yeah, you're talking to this person, and as you're asked after you purchase it, you ask about this, and her face goes a little pale. It's a elven girl, not particularly old. I'd say somewhere maybe in her low 20s, who looks a little taken aback, and sees all of you and all of your garb, and gathers you as adventurers, and goes, "If you want something like that, you're not going to find it here on the main square. But there is a shop. If you go to the fork at the road to the north, take a left. And I believe it's 4 or 5 doors down. You'll find Logram's, and he might have what you're looking for. We will expedite this to where you maybe detach from the group and head up that way to search. You do find Logram's, which seems to be an arcane shop that seems to have things for the. There are plenty of shops for wizards. This place seems more in here for sorcerers, for warlocks, for entities that might not be the studying type, as it were. You come in and speak to Logram. Logram himself is a rather pale elf. Seems rather old. I would say, it's hard to judge age in an elf, but I would say he visually looks to be in his 60s. He smiles at you warmly, his eyes sort of heavy-lidded, his cheekbones kind of sallow. And he goes, "Good evening, and welcome. What can I help you with?"
I'll look at him and I'll say it appears that you have a mighty fine collection in this shop of yours. You cater to a more eclectic type, it seems, so hopefully I'm in the right place. I was hoping to find a very specific item, a Bloodwell vial. Do you happen to know where I could acquire one of those?
When you ask this, he sort of narrows his eyes a bit and looks you up and down. And his eyes begin to glow a faint purple. You get this is a detect magic spell. As he sort of assesses you, sizes you up. And his eyes go from sort of half squinting to raised up rather high as he realizes you're not, what's the word I'm looking for? not
An
all
amateur.
there, as it were. Certainly not an amateur either, but his state of being is rather interesting to him. He's like, "Ah, I must say I'm a little surprised. It's not often we get those who aren't fully in the grave. Uh, I believe we might have what you're looking for. On your 31 persuasion check, you do find the very rare version of this, the +3. It will cost you 3,000 gold, but it is available. He also has a rare one, which is the +2 for 1,500.
Hmm.
Keep in mind, you also have valuables that you guys can sell if you so wish to,
Yeah.
get some more
Allow me to
liquidate.
I guess
6250 minus.
the parties are not with me, but given the option to buy the more expensive one, because I'm not sure I'll ever find another one, I probably would.
How much was that?
3,000.
3,000 gold.
Yeah. Josh, you may add that to your character sheet, the +3 version of it.
After that,
You
we
do-
have 1,750 before we sell anything. Which
Before we
I think
liquidate?
I think we have lots of things to liquidate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you do this, as he hands you the item, he actually uncorks it, and he shows that the inside of the cork is actually like embedded in the cork. It's a small decorative blade, and he tells you, this will not be as simple as a prick of the finger. You need to get as close to the heart as you can. The fresher the blood, the more powerful the attunement. You will need to sleep on it.
Okay. I think maybe I would show even just a little bit of excitement from finding the item and having him explain it to me, knowing this is not a normal thing to just come across. Even as high of a level and as much adventuring as I've done so far, this is still like it's not a particularly common thing. So I sort of nod after fangirling for a second. And I'll look at him and say, thank you so much for the advice and for selling it to me. I'm quite excited to have this. I'll do as you asked and sleep on it tonight. Hopefully the Bloodwell Fairy, what would you call it, visits me in my rest.
We can't hear you.
Okay, I thought it was just me. I still can't hear you.
Yeah, not even Discord's getting the sound.
There it goes.
Hello? You hear me now? Sorry about that.
Yeah,
Yes,
there
sir.
you go.
He chuckles at your Bloodwell fairy joke and goes, "The Bloodwell witch, actually. The first woman to create these was a rather proficient sorcerer, a master of the arcane arts that is known far and wide. You would do well to keep this under your collar, if you understand. Not all would be happy with seeing such powerful arcana on display. You make a perception check. Beat an 18.
Well, my
Beat a
perception's a flat 0, so got a 3.
He seems like a nice guy. He's being very friendly. He's with a 3. You think he's coming on to you a little bit. He seems a little too interested, and you're just not quite like you're like something's vibes are off.
Once again, I blush. I'm like, I know you probably haven't seen very many water ganassi, but geez, back off a little bit.
I have seen none like you. If you have anything that you've acquired in your travels, I'd be happy to look them over. And if you wish to sell,
What do you guys want to sell?
All right, so
Well,
here we go. We have lots of stuff. Instead of like hashing out all the different stuff, all the different things that they do, I'm just gonna sell some stuff. Firstly, the
Well-
beads of force.
well, 1 second. Do you want to sell the things that are just actual valuables, like the rubies, the onyx gems, the black pearl?
I am afraid to sell them because some of the different spells require different things. Some require ruby dust, some require diamonds, some require other unspecified,
Mm.
or specified, pardon me, gemstones. So I'm a
I
little
will say-
afraid.
You know, many of those are what you got from the White Worm Speaker's Tower, and you gathered they were, spell components. What for, you don't know if you have access to. But if you wish to sell other things, that's okay too.
I would
We
assume
give-
at least like the various gemstones, right? That's pretty agnostic. That's probably safe to sell.
And the necklace.
And
Yeah.
the necklace.
Subtract both of those and add here, 1 second. I'll add 1750. Did you already subtract the 3000?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so that
Not
that
from the
number,
total party bank, no.
That number I quoted earlier is after the resurrections and Yuan's purchase at 1750.
1 second. Minus ruby necklace and minus gemstone. Okay.
So we had 1750, now we have 1750 again. So we're saying?
That's what we had after your purchase. After this, we'll have double that, right? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So
That's
you
fine.
had the
1500?
6250. You bought a
20.
150 potion.
30.
You bought a 3000 item. You bought a 1500. Bought 1500 worth of services. Will put you at 1600. Plus the 1750 is going to be 3350. Unless I missed another transaction in there. But
We don't have to keep that there. I'm just putting it there for me. 3350 party
Yeah.
bank.
All right, so you want to sell some of the items. You said the beads of force?
Yes, sir. They're rare items. We have 6 of them.
Let me look at something real quick.
If my DM brain is not fucking up on me, that should be like a minimum of 500. I think if we can possibly sell all of them for a chunk, you obviously might need to read them to determine how valuable they actually are.
A bead of force on the source I am looking at actually values them at 800 gold. So subtract
Okay.
that and add 800. What's
800.
something else you wish to sell?
So we have 6 of them. Is it 800 per or 800 for 6 of them?
It doesn't specify here. 800 for 6 would be 4,800 gold. So I'm going to say we'll meet you in the middle there. Let's call it 2,400. And you sell all 6 of them.
We've at least recouped what I spent, so thank you for that.
I've got a couple of other things picked out.
Joey
What
may not
is-
have realized how valuable those were when he gave them to you.
Yeah, they're neat. So the other thing, I might keep something, but first let's start with figurine of wondrous power. An onyx
Which one is
dog.
that?
Would you like me to link it to you, or link it to the chat?
No, you're fine. I'm searching for the exact thing here.
That's the one you can throw on the ground and it turns into a dog, right?
Yeah, I'll start
Yeah.
linking them so people can look at them and stop me if they don't want me to sell it.
That's a very good call. Onyx dog.
It's too late on the beads. We need that cash.
Where? Interesting. I'm
Well,
not
The
seeing-
way
oh,
I
here
look
it
at this is if people currently aren't using it, they must not have cared about it that much because we've had most of this stuff for a while.
Same.
Some of them are consumable, so it's not something you would like have. But the Onyx dog is listed at 2,000 gold feet. I would certainly allow that.
Yes, please.
The next thing I might suggest is we have a +1 circlet of blasting. Circlets of blasting are listed as uncommon, but I can't find stats for +1. So if you ruled that was also rare, I don't know how you want to do that. How much did you? I'm so sorry. Did you say the dog was worth?
2,000.
Thank you.
Circlet of blasting. I'm only seeing one listing for it. One moment. I'm seeing 2, but they're both listed at the same price. 1,500. We're just gonna say that's the +1 might be the base level of the item or something.
I had it pulled up, but I can't link it. Does anyone
Anyone
think
who's
they're...
watching this week, enjoy Inventory Simulator 3000.
Yeah. Have you
Ben or
played Baldur's
Barb?
Gate 3? You know
Ben-
what we're talking about.
Ben or Barb, are either one of you interested in that circlet of blasting? I figure y'all may have things you want to buy instead. We can get some liquid.
Here,
action
you
going.
want to drop it in chat real quick?
I just put it in the Stormking's Thunder chat. Sorry about that, friend. So what it does is it lets you cast Scorching Ray, and it gives you a big bonus to hit with Scorching
Ooh.
Ray, but that's all it does. It can only do it once, and
Well,
only
I think
once every dawn.
That +5 is in place of your spell attack modifier. You don't get to add that +5 to your spell attack modifier. That's like if you
I
don't have.
see. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scorching Ray is a second level spell, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's
Second
not.
level spell. So it's not terrible.
That's not bad. I don't know.
It's
It
a
looks like it's only
free
one use per
spell.
day, though.
Yeah.
So, and I think the +1 would make it a +6 to attack bonus and a +1 to damage. So that would be 2d6 plus 1 per ray.
If we're gonna get
You do get to
15
make 3
Before-
rays.
Oh, that's a good point. But it's only gonna do what? 1d6, 2d6 damage? Like,
It's 2d6 per ray. So if you hit all
Hmm.
3, might not be likely, but if you hit all 3, it would be 66 plus 3. Which isn't bad, but again, there might be better things in your arsenal.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you at this level, anybody who's trying to use that is probably wasting your turn for anybody but me casting spells. And even then, I
think-
wouldn't use it probably.
I think it's intended more for somebody who isn't already a spellcaster, or for a lower level
Right.
adventurer, as you say. But
it's up to you.
why don't we
Ben.
sell 1 or 2 more things, and then we'll see what people are buying, and then if we need to sell more, we can.
I'll pass
So,
on it.
all right. So I would like to go ahead and hit these, just because, like, I'm really just hitting stuff that hasn't been equipped under the premise of, you know, if we sell it before we knew what it did, how are we gonna miss it? So I'd like to go ahead and, I would like to go ahead and sell the gloves of missile snaring.
Before we jump, Ben, do you not? I think Devin asked if you want to claim that. If not, we'll go ahead and liquidate it.
Yeah, I think I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's
Oh,
the,
I got
think
that
the
marked in
gold.
chat for you.
The gold will go further. So I would like to go ahead and sell the gloves of missile snaring because they're unequipped. I would like to sell the luck stone because it's unequipped.
1 second. The luck stone does give you a +1 to a good bit of stuff, and it doesn't require attunement, if I'm not mistaken. I could be incorrect about that, but I think it's like +1 to saving throws.
It is, and I looked this up earlier today. It does not require attunement, I don't think. So that could be handy just to have on your person.
+1 to
Somebody should
ability
probably
checks
start
and
that.
saving
Yeah, that would
throws.
be handy to have.
Oh,
Yeah,
but it
I'll
does
leave-
require attunement. Pardon me. Requires attunement,
Yeah.
but +1 to ability checks and saving throws.
I mean, speak now, forever, Trapecer, I'll sell it. If it requires attunement, it's on the
Alright.
same list as everything else.
So,
I understand if someone wants to hang on to that. That's neat. Let's come back to that one. Ring of Fire Resistance, please. Also going on the board. Also go into the sell pile. And it is a rare item. And then, so does no one have the Amulet of the Drunkard equipped? Is that what we got recently that lets you like take a potion? Yuan, do you have that equipped?
I don't.
We're selling that too. No one has it equipped.
The only thing I ask that you don't sell for because you're going down the list, that Fang of the Spider Queen, just make sure you hold on to that.
I did skip it for a reason, yeah. I was gonna ask if we wanted to sell it, but
The gloves of missile snaring can be sold for 2,000.
thank you.
What was the next piece? Of?
Not the Luckstone? Question mark.
Oh,
Ben said sell it. Barb, what did you think?
I'm putting that missile snaring thing in the chat if that helps.
Thank you.
I don't know about the Luckstone, especially since it requires attunement. I might want to see what else I can snag.
Let's liquidate it. Do it here. If I put the last things we want to liquidate, will that make things easier for you? And then, oh well, I was gonna say, never mind. Not early enough for break. Luckstone. Amulet of the Drunkard. Luckstone is next. Amulet of the Drunkard, and then Ring of Fire Resistance.
Ring of Resistance. I hate this because it's allowing me to search the document and it puts me on a page where it is, but it's not highlighting it, so I have to actually read like items, which is kind of dumb. Wasn't doing that earlier. The Ring of Fire Resistance. You can get 3,000 gold with it.
You say 3,000 gold?
3,000. I will. Davos might mention we are going to the Hells in the future. If that changes anybody's feelings.
That might be a hold on to for now. It takes a day to attune to something, right? So it would be like if we had a day to plan, then somebody could throw that on.
I think we even said a short rest. I don't know if that's accurate or not. Okay, now we're highlighting. I had to refresh it. A Luckstone, it puts that at 4,000.
What was 3,000 gold?
The Ring of Fire Resistance.
Oh, we're gonna hang on to that though. Okay, luck stones instead. Got you. About the amulet of the drunkard.
Amulet of the Drunkard is not listed. I'll put that at 2,000.
What does this do?
All right, y'all.
So,
I didn't
Amulet of the
have much
Drunkard,
left.
for the record,
Turns
does not require attunement.
booze into healing potions. I forget
So that
exactly.
could even. I think we hold on to that purely because you could just put it on, drink a ale, and get healing. I mean, I don't think that's common. We're not going to be like carried a bunch of beer down into a dungeon or anything. But I don't know, in a dire situation.
Well,
When the thing
I
is,
think
you
about
could. It's equivalent to. It turns a beer into a greater healing potion.
so
know,
you
right.
could
You could
literally
get
buy
beer
a
much
thing of
cheaper
beer.
than you can. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it works for one person, but you could, like he just
It
said,
can But you can only do it once a day until the next dawn. So, but it's a a highly discounted, greater healing potion for,
All right,
I mean,
yes.
knowing that we have it, we could always just carry a water flask full of wine or ale anywhere we go, and just be like, in
Yeah.
emergency situations, break glass. You know.
I mean, you
Cobra
could
already
buy
carries-
bottles of ale.
I feel like
carries
Pandora
moonshine.
definitely carries around like a swig of rum somehow. Like, I mean, she's a pirate. She's always got something.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'll say a bottle of ale. Really, it wouldn't need like 5 gold. Sounds like a lot for a bottle of ale.
Yeah, it'd
So
be like
we're gonna say
2 silver.
5 silver. So I'm gonna put down -5 gold plus 10 bottles of ale. And then this way, you guys have 10 greater healing potions that you got for silver pieces.
Yeah.
So after accounting for the booze, we have this stacked up faster than I thought it would. 15,245 gold.
I'll totally get bet.
I
So,
feel a lot
let's
less bad
continue
about
with
spending
per-
3,000.
And then let's continue with purchases, and then we'll come back and look to see. Is that right, Devin? Oh, because the beats.
Where's my calculator? Oh, it didn't show at all. I think it's right. I could have punched an extra one in the calculator, but I promise I didn't do
Well,
that in my
because
head.
we also talked
mean-
about stuff. I don't think you did it on purpose, but we also talked about stuff and then like took stuff away.
Quick math tells me 11,000 just in what I can see in this little snippet of space. But that's without accounting for anything we already had, and I'm also rounding down, so it's
Well,
probably a little bit higher than that.
We started
Devin's
with
right.
we started with
15,000.
3350.
250.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also sold 5 or 6 magic items, and got a pretty good bit. With that in mind, Arcanox, is there anything that you wish to look for in the market?
Let's see here. I either want to try to find some rings that give me some kind of advantage, like a ring of protection would be cool,
Okay.
or some kind of secondary armor, like maybe some bracers or something. I really want to boost my AC up a little bit after my tussle with Herberist in the last Worm Speaker.
Yeah, you could certainly find a ring of protection. The thing about the ring of protections, do you have a ring or a cloak of protection?
Still have a cloak of protection.
You can, I think, still use the ring. That's going to be 3,500, but it will boost your AC by 1. And I think it gives you a plus
Let me
1 to
tell
saving
you.
throws.
We have one of those in our inventory.
Oh shit! Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, just equipped it. Ring it.
Here, yeah, I'll just equip that one. Let me see here. There was a secondary one.
Pandora, if there's anything you want to look at as well.
I had a couple of things. So, I found an item I liked, but I was looking for something that would boost wisdom, but there's really nothing. There's one that boosts intellect,
Well, there's the Ion Stone of Insight, which is,
intelligence, but
well, the Ion Stone of Insight boosts your wisdom. It's not just boosting your insight.
By 2, I think.
It gives you another perk too, I think.
Yeah,
Your
it
wisdom
gives you
score increases
proficiency
by 2
bonus.
for a maximum of 20.
Can you link that so I can look at it?
Yeah. I'm going to drop that in the bag of holding chat. I'll tidy that up later.
The only other thing I saw was the Tome of Understanding.
Yeah, that's you have to read so many hours over the course of like a while. I don't think it gives you
48
any
hours over 6 days.
Yeah, so you gotta really read it. And if you use that 7th day, you lose your progress. So you know. I know that Davos was talking about wanting one of those. So I will go ahead and purchase one for him. I believe that is going to be 3,000. Let me look. Iron Stone of Insight. It says 3,000, which to me seems a little cheap. But
let's see. I'm looking at it.
There's a bunch in there about, it is a thing that floats around you, so enemies could snatch it or try to hit it, but that is a AC of 24 or a DC 24 dexterity check to try to do so. It is a little vulnerable in that. That might be why it's cheaper than I'm imagining, but that is for all intents and purposes, a pre +2 to your wisdom.
Yeah, which is what I'm... what I would like, yeah. Because my -1, so I think that needs remedied.
Okay, yeah, you can certainly grab that. I will go ahead and mark off that 3,000.
Do I need to roll to find it or anything? It's very rare.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. No, we need to do both of these. Thank you for saying that. You're a good person. If you would like to make an investigation check, I'll give you advantage because Davos is going to help you, and I'll let you use whoever has the higher investigation. Or you can tell me how you're going about it differently. Since we've used persuasion, I don't think they'll allow you to do the same thing, but we can try something else.
I stole your bag, sorry.
I mean, like, shit, I'm not going to shake down people.
I
So
wouldn't be surprised.
My stats are stealth, sleight of hand,
persuasion?
so criminal things.
What's your bonus to persuasion?
My bonus to persuasion is +10.
All right, Davos is +17.
But I've already let one of you use persuasion, so you have to.
I do have a +11 in perception.
Oh, well, okay, so Davos has +17 to performance too, and that was how I was gonna do persuasion. I was gonna have him go around playing music or lean into that. Hey, think about this.
No, I'll allow that. +17 is very solid. Why don't you roll with advantage for Davos, please?
He's singing about how he wants to find a stone.
Or I like to think like he knows the right.
Mind.
Okay, if you guys, I think he knows the right people to perform to, and he hits them up like after he's done performing, kind of deal.
Right.
That's what came to mind. Oh,
with advantage, because Pandora's helping him. Pandora has her tambourine, because of course she has a tambourine. Davos, being a rather keen guy and a religious man, that begins to wander the temple district, going away from the marketplace, and he begins strumming out a song. And this is the story. In many ways, yeah. Well, this is a bard song, but celebrating a saint. This is celebrating. I almost said Nodorok, and I'm like, wait, that's something else. This is going to be for Nateo the Wise. He sings the song of this ancient saint from eons past. And he's singing it in a very light, gentle way. He's not going over the top as if he's trying to draw attention, but he's wandering up and down the temple street. And it is not long before a priest at the temple of Ioun, which was closed, opens the door and peers out. Ioun, the goddess that these stones are named after, is a god of wisdom. It's a god of knowledge. As she hears the song, she listens, and Davos finishes his tune, Pandora assisting in her way. And the priest applauds and thanks him and asks if he knows another, and asks for a hymn, as Devin was suggesting this time. Davos, roll a religion check. This is going to be ooh. Davos asks, "Can you hum it a little for me?" Priest sort of.
Davos only knows Lathander hymns.
Yeah. The priest, I'll say allow Davos to roll again because the priest is going to hum a bit of it. Seems a little disapproving that he didn't know it off the top of his head. But it does come to Davos after a bit. He goes like, "Oh yeah," and he sort of has to fumble through the lyrics a little bit, but he gets the gist of it. And the priest happily fills in where he falls short. After he goes, it would be a fine addition to our choir. It's been quite some time since music has rang through these halls. As lovely as yours, anyway. Davos will smooth talk his way in. Yes, I sing because I am myself in search of insight. The priest goes, "Well, you've come to the right place. Why don't you step inside?" The priest welcomes Davos.
Right over there.
They chat briefly as Davos explains who he is, giving a little bit of sway to his argument, saying that we are trying to stop a great and powerful evil across the land, and we found that our woes try to bend our will against us, and I'm trying to find something to help protect me. And I figure if anyone can provide that, be one of the gods of this fine city. The priest is approving and does show Davos a few iron stones that they have. He does specifically point out one of insight. Now, the thing of it being two, normally I would try to make some type of check, but I don't want to pit the two of you together, especially when you've worked together to acquire this. So I will say he does have 2 iron stones of insight and sells them both to you gladly. Davos pays the full price. I'll even say Davos, being good guy Davos, even throws an extra, we'll say 150 gold into the collection pan at the door. The priest thanks him and sends him along his way. Barbara, you and Davos may both add these to your character sheets. Devin, if you can't, that's not a big deal. I will inform Davos.
Put my little stone in my headband.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it does have to drift. I'll look at that later. Maybe not.
It does. It goes in circles. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Around your head, which looks bad.
I know it does, but I don't know if it has to. If she could secure it to make it a little safer.
Make it cute in my little bow.
Right in the middle of the bow.
With in fact, it is a stone.
Too.
All right.
It is a stone. Your bow does have amethyst gems. I'm sure it could certainly be affixed in some way. No, lovely. Any other purchases that we have?
Is it my turn again? Am I the last one?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to search for a moon sickle.
A moon sickle, he says.
Yeah, hang on. I can't find the D&D Beyond. It says it's from Tasha's, but I can't find the D&D Beyond link.
I've noticed that they're very picky about spelling now. So I can't if normally if you type in moon sickle, if you have sickle misspelled, it will still bring you to it because you have moon in there. But
so I was trying to find it. It is one of those. It's +1.
Oh, this is a critical role item.
It says it's from Tasha's. I don't know.
I'm seeing a critical role link. Oh, this I know what this is. This is the druid specific item.
Druid or Ranger, it says. I do see him in Beyond. I just don't know how to. I'm gonna send you something that's it is a wiki dot, but I'm pretty positive this is not.
If you see it on Beyond, can you send me that?
I can try. It's in my character sheet. I can't find the page for it. One second.
Oh, I see. In that case, go ahead. I found it on the wiki dot. Go ahead and roll some type of check to find this. Is there any particular way you go about doing this?
Yeah. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. My best is +11. I'm gonna do perception. No one's done that yet, right? Goldbrand is he has this very odd view on things because he's kind of uncomfortable. He hasn't been in a city this big for quite a few years, and he's like, this sucks. I hate this. And he picks out what he sees a shop and he's like, this one has the most draperies, the most colors, the most embroideries, lots of gold. They think they're better than everyone else. They should have the widest variety of things if they meet their standards. He's sort of has a cynical view of like he picks one based on his perception of which one looks like they would have higher tier items.
Interesting. Okay. Roll the perception check. A natural 20.
Yes.
I will think that Goldbrand starts to wander the market district with this in mind, trying to find the most ostentatious location that would have something of this caliber. But Goldbrand, being so in tune with nature, instead notices along his route the lack of trees here, the sparseness of nature, and does see a particular building that has a rather fine garden. A garden that has not only herbs that might be used for apothecaries, but also just trees that are known to be especially beautiful throughout various times of year. He also sees blooms of flowers that are specific to grow in various times of year, to where this place is cared for in a way that no matter when you come here, no matter what season, there is always going to be something beautiful and on display. And he notices that the trees are particularly well kept. They do not grow truly wild, but are pruned in a very precise manner. For picking up on this, he goes into this shop and finds an older woman, hunched in her age, seems to be gnomish of a sort. What?
Same.
Yeah, seems to be gnomish, and welcomes you, looking all the way up. You hear her back as she tries to, as you enter her rather small, rather modest shop. This does not seem to be a particularly abundant place for magical items, and it does seem to be largely, while not entirely just apothecary goods, seems to be mostly apothecary related. She welcomes you into her shop, and, well, hello there, you're quite the sight. What can I help you with, fine man?
Wilburn will find any wall space he can and sit down on his ass and lean his back against the wall so she doesn't have to look up so far to talk to him. You know, they haven't rested yet. He's pretty beat up. Like, he not slumps, but he's gonna sit down against the wall, look at her, he's gonna say,
Oh, are you injured? Do you require a salve? A balm? A salve?
I will be okay. To be honest, I just came to get away from the cities for a second. You wouldn't happen to...
Its presence can be rather heavy at times. You look like you're more comfortable out in the forest, if you don't mind me saying so. And she looks you up and down. You're not a gray wolf, are you?
He makes a face because he always gets this question. Blue bear.
Yeah. Oh, she sighs. You see, she was like inching toward the wolf's bane, and goes, "Sorry, one can never be too careful." Blue bear.
A friend of mine killed their chief, actually.
Oh, good.
Not,
Okay.
not by choice. We're here to take care of some business, maybe get some weapons, and get back to doing whatever the fuck adventurers do. I haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah. We adventurers have not one calling, but many. And certainly, there are a multitude of paths one can choose to follow. It's often not the paths we choose, but the paths we don't that end up defining us. I could be of some assistance. I'd be happy to.
How do you mean? I can make most of the things you have here. No. I don't know if he would say no offense. Devin would, but...
She'll nod and she goes, being skilled with the elements is something to be admired, nothing I would ever take offense of. Perhaps I could help by pruning away some of those options. I think I have something for you. Something I've been holding on to for quite some time. Something a dear friend told me to hold on to. She disappears into the back. It's gone just a short while before she emerges with a simple wooden case. And while it is simple, it is very finely crafted. Fine wood with a beautiful grain, very well preserved, no knots or anything visible in it. And a wood carving of the symbol of Shanti on the top of it. very narrow box, probably about 1.5 by 1.5 feet. And as she opens it, in a simple bed of straw, you see a beautiful crescent sickle. It gleams in the moonlight that flickers in through the, from the dying sunlight that flickers in through the windows, and has just a natural draw to it. She gestures for you to take it.
That is beautiful weapons. Goldburn will pick it up and, he's used to weapons. He's used a lot of stuff. He'll do the
As you
testy
do,
thing.
the hilt, while very simple, the wood almost seems to mold itself to your grip, become more comfortable, and you feel that this soft wood that might be more comfortable for some druids begins to stiffen, and you see that it actually shifts into a more of an oak, something sturdier to handle one such as yourself. The woman smiles a bit and goes, I believe you have ended many paths. Some that you had to, some that perhaps you wanted to. But every cut and every slice has led you to where you are. To here, in this exact place. Shanti was the one who told me to hold on to this. And given its natural draw to you, it would be foolish of me to hold on to it when it is needed elsewhere.
It will do great work, if you believe my companions. How much is it?
You see that there's a small paper on the inside, and it's signed by a druid whose name I am blanking on, but it is the druid that you set out to Shadowtop Cathedral to find, and instead found his daughter. This woman is quite old, and seems to have been a friend of this individual. She goes, this was a gift to me. Did I tell you this? I would not accept your gold. Instead, I ask that wherever you go, you just be mindful of the choices you don't make.
What about the trade? Goldburn will offer her his razor claw dagger.
She takes it and looks it over, admiring it. Very well make of a type of material I'm not entirely familiar with.
I can
Razor
show
sharp.
you before I leave if you want. I have a wild shape left. Turn into it and then turn back and leave at the end.
I would be. Do you tell her what you're going to turn into, or you just do it?
Goldburn would explain, I can show you what the beast it is from before I leave. They'll be ferocious, but I will be Mies.
She goes, I think I would like that.
Okay. I will make that sure. Goldburn's so good. He doesn't want to just take this from Soul Lady, so he will give her the dagger.
That's very, very Uthgard of him.
Yeah, got trade. I wasn't using it, so,
Yeah. You shift into the razor claw, and she does look a little taken aback at first. Something she's never seen, clearly. Something that has not existed on the mainland for quite some time until the Thunder Beast returned. She takes it in and is rather impressed. And as you shift back into your humanoid form, she goes, I have to say, that's quite a display. You seem very capable in your gifts. And your ability to meld with nature so easily makes me believe this is the right choice. Besides, she holds up the razor claw dagger, this will prune the trees just as well as that did. Tools may have their intended uses, but I find that most of us are more versatile than we let on.
don't have to tell me. Corbrand, feeling very old, will kind of nod and tuck the, I almost called it a kukri, the sickle into his, can it be a kukri? Sorry, I think they look neat. Tucks it into where the dagger had been. He says, I appreciate doing business with you. So I need to go find my companions and get some fucking sleeps.
Get you a rest. I'm sure it's well earned. You have a long path ahead of you. May it be as smooth as it can.
Go ahead and make an insight check.
Sure.
Specifically, she keeps saying shit that makes Goldbrand thinks that she has the sight. He doesn't like that. 30.
30. The woman is deceptively simple in her appearance, but you begin to glance about and see that this area is very well protected. You can sense the presence of protective wards, things that should not be something that a druid or a ranger would do, nor something you'd suspect a hag or anything of that nature would. But she is, you gather that in her time, she was quite an adventurer, maybe even a party member with the druid I mentioned earlier.
I was trying
She
to find
has-
his name and couldn't.
Yeah, same. She has powerful friends and has lived a long life and learned experience through hard-won means. Nothing sinister, nothing untrustworthy. Just someone who enjoys tending her garden.
I don't have a spell, but Goldbrand makes a mental note if he lives long enough to come back and bless her. Bless the garden. You know, do the thing that makes stuff grow. He will leave. Goldbrand comes out with a
You-
fucking sickle strapped to his fucking hip.
You make
Wait,
your way
uh,
out to the bazaar.
What? Which one is that? Plus 1 through 3.
With your 31 to find it, that's going to be a +3.
Had to make sure.
All right, there is
Make it
one
work
thing I
for
want to try to
yours.
find
Yes,
before
sir.
we go, because the ring didn't stack at all.
No, it didn't
All right.
stack. Yeah, I wasn't sure.
Yeah,
Did you equip and attune it?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I
I
know
was
the
gonna say, even if
but-
you did, you didn't spend any money, so you deserve to go find something you want.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay, so secondly, Arcanox, I'd imagine the last few times he's been to Waterdeep, him and the Inferno team had somebody that they sold treasures to, like fenced
Certainly. Yeah.
items, stuff like. So whoever that may be, Arcanox is going to go try to find ruby amulets that are associated with Sardior. Particularly, I'm looking for the Amulet of the Devout, which is a cleric and paladin item.
Yeah. Certainly. You go a little bit off
Goes
the
up-
beaten. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, it
go
goes
ahead.
up to very rare, so it goes up to very rare, so just whatever rarity. Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you do me a favor? How do you want to seek this out? I know you're using your what ability I should say. Would you like to try to use to find this?
Let's see.
Trying to think. I don't think your religion's that high, so I don't want to say religion.
I'm gonna try like would
What's your-
perception work?
What's your spellcasting ability? Your wisdom based, right?
Yes.
I wasn't going to allow people to repeat because I feel like that does make it a little too easy. However, wisdom. What's your insight score?
Like passive
Yeah.
or just passive insight's 10.
So your modifier's probably not that high. Let me do one
Yeah.
quick thing. I tell you what. I'm going to say. I think I'm going to go with a flat +7, but let me see. Or no, I'm sorry. Paladins are charisma based, aren't they? I think I had that backwards. My apologies. Yeah. Do me a favor. Roll a d20 and add 6 to it.
Let's do
And what was this? An amulet of what?
Amulet of the Devout.
You begin going through, making your way through the marketplace, trying to find something that will. You've recently taken this dip into palate and become more devout these last 7 years. And it's something that still feels a little foreign to you, but the more you grow, the more you feel drawn to it. As you search, you feel a bit of a tug. And you're actually attracted to not the marketplace itself, but an alley off to the side, where you see there is a fence of sorts. You approach him, not threateningly, but with the intent that is familiar with this. He nods his head as you approach and goes, Captain Archinox, I heard that you were back on the scenes. I was wondering if we might meet again. You've sold me some things in the past. Are you here to buy or to sell?
I'm definitely here to buy this time. I'm here to inquire if you've come across any ruby amulets that seem to hold any magic properties.
Oh, we've got rubies for days. And he opens up his coat, which has many pockets on the inside of it, but none of them seem to have any weight to them. And nonetheless, he pulls gemstones, rings, necklaces, dozens of things out that shouldn't even fit within the pockets he's pulling them from. And you gather the coat itself is enchanted. As he does this, he's going through and you're not quite seeing what you want. You're searching, but none of this is ringing true to you. And you're almost a little disappointed before he goes, well, hold on, buddy. Why don't you just try it on? You're made of rubies. This will look good. And he puts one in your palm. And as the ruby makes contact with you, you feel that familiar draw, that warmth of presence that you feel when Sardior's presence is near you. I want you to pray as you feel this connection to him. Maybe not even pray per se, but how would you speak with Sardior?
I like to imagine it's like a telepathic kind of thing. Like he goes into like an avatar state kind of deal, and talks to Avatar Roku, more or less.
His fucking eyes turn ruby, fucking crimson.
Yeah.
The smoke of the fireplaces around you swirls a bit, and suddenly you are no longer within the alleyway, but standing high upon a mountaintop. And while you do not see Sardior directly, you feel his presence here. And it waits expectantly. What do you do?
I would. Arcanoc's not really, like I said, sure how this whole prayer to a deity thing really goes. He's only known martial skill his whole life. But he's just going to go by instinct and just kind of implore to Sardior, kind of summarize the worm speakers he's encountered, the threats that now encompass the land, and ask for guidance, empowerment, strength to help him destroy his enemies, etc., etc.
In this distant mountaintop where the sun is high, and the world seems stretched out beneath your feet, you feel the warmth of the sun on your scales, and feel the dazzling red dots that scatter across the mountainside as they reflect off of you. You think of the green worm speaker, who you have defeated, who you have slain and truly taken her vestment. You think of the white worm speaker, one who you have not seen face to face but know the power of. And then you think of the black worm speaker. You think of Erebus. And the sun begins to fade beyond black clouds. You seek empowerment to defeat your foes, to lay waste to those who try to disrupt the balance of this world. I want you to roll, I'll say either a religion or a charisma check. Your choice.
Might as well. Yeah, I'm gonna do Flagons. At 20.
20.
It's a dirty.
Fantastic. You think on this foe that you have faced that was more formidable than you imagined, more powerful than you remember even. And as you draw upon this memory, there is but a single break in these dark clouds that now blacken the landscape around you. From this small break, it shines down, and if I'm not mistaken, you have the emblem of... Don't you have a religious symbol to Sardior, either on your armor or a necklace?
Yeah, I have. It's my holy symbol. Yeah.
Your holy symbol. As it strikes your holy symbol, there is a prismatic light that shines off, and it almost reminds you of the dragonfire, multicolored, beautiful, radiant. And as you draw this appeal, this one break of light in the darkness, you are expelled from this vision and find yourself once again with your feet on the cobblestone streets of Waterdeep, still clutching the ruby amulet that you held just moments ago. And without opening your fist, you feel that it has changed, that you have changed. Defense tells you 750 and it's all yours.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Sorry, I missed the last part of what you said.
He says 750 and it's all yours. Talking about the
750.
Dude.
Yeah, I can do 750.
Yeah, dude. What's that item called? I'm so sorry.
Amulet of the Devout. You throw him the 750, and as you do, you open your palm a bit and glance at it, and it is resplendent, far more brilliant, a finer diamond, a finer cut than it was ever before when you held it. And the guy's eyes go wide and goes, 1,500. I mean, you know.
Hey, man, a deal is a deal.
He almost starts to say something, but realizes that he could in no way take you in a fight, and accepts his loss and grumbles about his way. This Amulet of the Devout, for now, is a +1, but I say that with the promise that something will come of this.
Cool.
As you all reconvene, we're going to take our break. We're going to be back in about 10 minutes, 11:01 for those of you with us at Eastern Time.
Best time.
And if there's anything else you have to purchase, we'll pick that up when we return. With that, we'll see you in a few.
Live.
And we're back. Thank you for joining us as we return to the city of Waterdeep. I do want to give a special shout out to the track Wandering by our own bard Davos Brandon Wageman. Very excellent. And I had completely overlooked it until I was prepping yesterday, and I'm like, this is perfect. So
All his stuff slaps, dude.
no, for real, the man, it's hit after hit after hit. No roll is necessary. We are going to pick up where we left off, which was at the marketplace. As we are discussing this, I'm aware that Brandon is not here. We have purchased the Island Stone that he showed some interest in. But I think he's also going to have the foresight, since you have an abundance of gold, to pick up 2 scrolls of Hero's Feast. Devin, if you will add that to the bag of holding and subtract 1,500 gold, I believe.
How many scrolls of Hero's
Oh, I'm
Feast
sorry.
was that?
2 scrolls of Hero's Feast, and 3,000 gold.
Me and Davos can
1,500 per.
both cast that. So hopefully between all of that, we should be good to go.
Yeah, the scroll is only 500 gold more than the item you need to cast it. So in one way, it's a little more economic, because you don't have to use a spell slot. It's only 500. That said, if you want to buy a couple of those decorative bowls to have ready for that feast, you are welcome to.
Do you know how much they are off the top of your head?
1,000 gold.
All right. Nah, we'll stick with the scrolls for now.
Yeah,
Unless
you got
anyone
2.
disagrees.
I mean, there's 4 worm speakers left, but shrug.
We can get some more later, or buy the bowl later,
Yeah.
or et cetera,
So-
et cetera.
I mean, if you
Does
have the
anyone
extra
else-
gold, we're not probably buying any. I doubt we're going to be in a town again
We
in
have
the near future.
we have 5,345 left after that purchase.
Why
Kinda
don't you
to
buy
hang on
one
to.
more bowl just to have, and this way, if either one of you want to cast it, you have that capability.
Okay.
One bowl worth 1,000 gold.
Packed full, right?
Minus. Yeah, of
Smoke
course.
'em if you got them.
The
or whatever.
finest. Is there anything else that you adventurers wish to purchase before we proceed?
I don't think so. Corbin
Okay.
was asleep. He's
As
torn.
you all finish up with your individual assignments, I like to think there was this moment where you all broke away and found what you were looking for and came back together. You return to the market district, and on the far side of the bazaar, you spot a lively 3-story tavern that seems to be getting into full swing as the day draws to a close. Davos and Goldbrand have certainly been here before, but all of you who have visited Waterdeep have likely heard of this famous watering hole and perchance been here yourself. As you approach, the smell of ale, mead, and roasting meats fills your nostrils. And as you enter through the door, sconces and 2 roaring fireplaces illuminate the space in a warm glow. And as the patrons drink, feast, gamble, and dance, their shadows dance along the walls with them. You see 3 bartenders working expediently on pouring drinks and rising up a multi-story bar with gleaming glass bottles lining the whole thing top to bottom. You also see at least half a dozen barmaids sliding flagon after flagon down long oak tables and placing heavy pewter plates bearing a variety of roast meats and vegetables. You guys are in a rather lively space. Know that you're here to see the crew of the Westwind Wyvern. How do you go about finding them? Or what do you choose to do beforehand?
I imagine there's like some kind of way I can contact Tajin.
Oh,
I mean, that's
certainly.
my boy.
You do have him attuned on the mirror of dissemination. If you say his name as you glance at it, the mirror begins to mist before showing a familiar visage and a familiar background. As he sees you, Alchemax, I'm glad to see you are not underground, it would seem.
But yeah, we've recently ported in Waterdeep. We've taken down the green worm speaker and liberated Skullport. So yay!
That is fantastic news, my friend. up, and he squints at you, and then you see him get up and shift as the background moves along with him. And then suddenly, from the second story, you see his head pop over the railing and look down, and he calls to you. You guys make your way up the steps, and you see Captain Tajin, Tabitha, Gideon, Kaya, all holed up in a large round booth within the dark wood walls that reach to the ceiling. You also see several crewmen of the Wyvern milling about the general area. And as you are noticed climbing up the stairs, you are met with a mighty cheer as they make room for you at the booth. Archinox Tajin clasps your arm. Tabitha greets you on with a kiss. Gideon flings a small russet potato at Goldbrand. Tajin will start. Goldbrand, what do you do to that? How do you react to that?
Kaya threw it at me? Did I hear that right?
Gideon
Gideon threw it at me. That's even better. A sweet potato?
A russet potato. Little russet potato.
Oh. I mean, I feel like Goldbrand would throw food back. Like, it just depends. If he's on the way, he might not do anything about it, but if he's sitting there and there's food to throw, he would.
It's like
a waitress
too much. It's
making
like
her
a baked
way.
potato the size of
Yeah.
a football.
Let's say a waitress making her way downtown with a plate of food notices as a full turnip comes off the plate and gets chucked at Gideon. roll an attack roll. Roll just a d20, add 7.
Is that my strength? Something like that? Oh, gross. 50.
The potatoes, Gideon ducks his head just in time as the turnip smashes against the booth beside him, and there's a hearty chuckle from all. Tajin, we're glad to see that you are all still standing. Tabitha, I never doubted you for a minute, but okay, maybe I was worried just a bit. And then Kaya, a bit. You spent the whole trip gloomily looking off the bow. Like if you looked hard enough, you'd somehow see 6 miles under the surface. Gideon, good thing she didn't. I look like shit. What'd you end up scrapping with? As they make way for you to sit at the table.
As I hear this revelation, I'll reach over and try to sort of cup my hand on top of Tabitha's hand to reassure her, sliding around the booth. And I also want to. Can we message everyone that has the ring at the same time, or is it still like the individual casting of the message spell?
I would say you could broadcast in that way. Yeah.
I probably would use the ring for just a moment after hearing Archinox greet his crewmate earlier and convey. They asked a very pointed question. We can talk about who we fought, but let's maybe keep the mask under wraps for now. We've already seen 2 imposters so far. I do not want to lose a mask to a third.
Was it fair?
So, what'd y'all end up fighting?
Oh man,
Man.
you tell it.
An
Spiders
infinite number
the size
shit.
of dragons.
Yeah.
Spiders, dragons, a dragon spider.
We did fight a dragon that was a spider. It was fucked up just a little bit.
Kaya, like squeals a bit as her skin crawls and that's horrific.
Goldbrand orders double rounds for everyone.
Yeah.
Well,
A
for
sort
all
of
of the lords, pardon me, of the party.
No, that's fine. You see as a barmaid. This one is a dwarven woman. She introduces herself as Tom, says she's going to be taking care of the table. And she, as you order this, she turns to the bar, which again is there's a central pillar that is the bar that all the bottles are on. And as she goes to the ledge, she snaps. And a moment later, not with wings, but a dragonborn flies up using some type of fly spell. Hears her and then flies up, grabs a couple of bottles, and pours out glasses for all of you and passes them off to Tonks, who delivers them to your table. You all have a nice shot of whatever you choose to be drinking tonight.
Well, we saw. Oh, I guess they wouldn't. Oh god. Goldbrand's gonna tell him about the thing that looked like an adventuring party.
Oh yeah.
So, no, I shit you not. So Goldbrand shoots the first one and sips the second one. They're both liquor. I guess.
Grain alcohol.
Great. Oh, gosh, sure. He says, we saw these things, I swear to gods. A whole group's like ourselves, but possessed by a fucking pond. It was all kinds of fucks up. This little puddle in the middle of the caves, it just made them do odd shits. They tried to seduce us. They tried to smack talk us. It was weirds, dudes. Not dudes. It was weirds.
Tabitha, like seems to recoil at this a bit, like, and as you guys are explaining it, so it ate their memories? God, that's a fate worse than death. It uses some puppet or something for eternity. Ugh.
I sigh a little bit and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. She nudges you a bit. Tajin will ask, so I imagine that Captain Dynamite informed you of what his contact was able to learn.
Indeed.
Do you know? I understand that we have leads on the red and the white worm speakers, yes?
Yes, but it's
Sort of.
far from convenient news to Gene.
How so?
Well, I know for sure we'll have to go into one of the hells to defeat the red.
He nods his
If
head.
I'm being honest, I actually forgot where the white one was. But
You
yeah,
did-
look, I have
You didn't
to.
get a specific location.
Yeah, we don't know. We just know that he's a lich.
You say that, and Gideon goes, "Oh!" So he pulls out like a scroll. You could see it's like stained from food and a little bit of alcohol that's been spilled on it. And he goes, "So I've been reading the stars these last few nights, specifically trying to find that place of great evil. And I wasn't able to get an exact location, but I was able to get a good look at the ridgeline of the mountain." And he turns this paper over, and you see a very distinctive ridgeline. Goldbrand and Davos can roll a survival check to try to recognize. Actually, let me phrase that. Anyone can roll a survival check to try to recognize it. But Goldbrand and Davos can roll with advantage. Ooh, you may not need to.
I'll roll go runs again just for fun.
I can't roll higher than a 28, so
Yeah, that's pretty high. Goldbrand, as you look at this, you squint at it, and it does seem vaguely familiar. And you pick up the parchment, and very intuitively for Goldbrand, he flips the parchment over and holds it up to the candlelight in the middle of the table to see it in reverse. And once you're seeing it from the opposite angle, you realize that you have seen this. This is a very specific mountain range that's not far from Stone Stand. You realize that because it's the reverse view that you're used to seeing, it's on the far side of the range, which you've never been to yourself. But you know that this area is sort of infamous for being the Uthgar are suspicious of it, superstitious of it. It is a place where bad things happen.
Goldman relays this to the party.
As you say that and provide that information, Davos' 20, which wasn't quite high enough, is going to get a little easier. He goes, "Oh, yeah, no, that's where Hellgate Keep is. You know, it was it's a
Hellgate?
Hellgate Keep. Yeah." He goes, "It's a place where it's a place where the barriers between the hells and here is thinned. But you know, the Harpers have had that shit locked down for ever. I mean, hell, they have an ancient gold dragon guarding that place. It's not, not some place that can be taken down very easily."
I don't like those implications, Dawnbringer. Either it's fallen, which is bad, or it's corrupted, which is worse.
He bites his lip a little bit and sort of thinks in consternation. You know, the Harpers are supposed to be the ones who have it under control. If it would have fallen, I feel like we would have gotten word. You know, the Harpers and the Order of the Aster do work together on occasion, and if there was a breach of that magnitude around a fiendish gate, I'm certain they would let us know.
Man.
But it's definitely worth looking into, especially if we know one worm speaker is in hell, and this is a gateway to hell. Too many coincidences for my taste.
All I'm saying is that the Harpers can't handle their balls. From Archinox's dealings with them, so I'm like, I don't have a good feeling about it. Do not have high hopes.
He's like, well, to be honest, the caliber of enemy we're seeing, I mean, I would be... I wouldn't be confident in the ability of ordinary people to handle something like that. Even with a dragon, I mean, hell, how many have I killed? 12, 13, 50, something like that.
Gorman Gibbs smacks him.
I'm sorry, you talking about Davos? What's happening?
That was bragging. It is definitely worth taking a look at, but we have to secure what we have first.
What you have? Oh, Davos doesn't say that. Sorry, Gideon. What you got?
So I'm trying to figure out exactly how Goldbrand would respond to this. 'Cause
Everybody
I
watches
think
as Goldbrand's
Devin-
gears are turning as he tries
well,
to think of a lie.
Devin would be much more polite about it, but like, I think Goldbrand just wouldn't answer. He just does like the old man thing where he pretends you didn't say anything at all.
Tajin will ask, well, were you at least able to defeat the Green Wormspeaker? Which none of you have mentioned.
Did we tell him that?
Which none of
Oh.
us have mentioned.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Oh.
Grip insight
I
check.
love how y'all can't trust
know
anything
what?
anymore.
You know what? Oh man, I'm tempted to just whole person him now and just be like, "Alright,
Make a
motherfucker,
scene
we're
here
gonna
and there."
ask you some questions."
Yeah, the only person I mentioned the green worm speaker to was Tajin, and that was like
Wait.
telepathically almost.
That's who just said that, though.
That's who
just said that. Oh,
Oh yeah, I did.
you-
I told him. Yeah, I messaged him with the mirror on that one.
I forgot. He's the one that
Okay.
you talked to when we first walked in.
Yeah.
Okay.
He
I
is
didn't. I didn't
not-
tell. I didn't tell him we had the mask, but I did tell him that we defeated.
I see. Okay. So, well, Goldbrand would know that. We ran it out of the caverns. At the very least.
That is admittedly disappointing. If she is still on the loose with the mask, that means that they still possess all 5 of them. That the ritual is a guarantee.
We're working on
Yeah, that sucks.
it. We have the plans.
She goes, or he'll say, well, with that mask outside of our grasp, it's all the more important that we get a hold of the other 2. What was it that she said that the red was in the hills, the white was a powerful sorcerer?
Lich? I think that's the biggest piece
I
of
don't-
information we got. Was it
Mhm.
was a lich.
But I don't know if I
Anything else?
specified.
No, you
I don't-
specifically
Yeah, the
said.
black is a
specifically said-
legendary fighter.
Yeah.
I think the implication was
Oh.
because of the book and the stuff that was in the tower, but I don't think we got confirmation that it was a lich. I think we just assumed that based on what we found.
No, he said it's a lich. Now think about how much stronger it is with the mask. That's not verbatim, but that's very close.
Did he?
I think that
I
might
don't
be.
remember
Yeah. I forget it's hard as a DM to be like, how much should I give them? I don't want to accidentally slip something casually that they weren't supposed to know. But I mean,
But I think
y'all
someone
had pretty.
told us that.
I think perhaps Captain Dynamite, if I'm not mistaken.
I
When he
defer to the
updated
note
you
keeper.
guys, when he got his contacts, or when he spoke to his contact.
Don't say no, so
Um,
I'll go look.
Which you know that Captain Dynamite said that he didn't talk to Tajin directly, that he saw the ship limping in as they were headed out.
But he hasn't said anything about the worms. The other one.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, he trailed off though, right? That's the last thing he said. No, we don't know where he is right now. I imagine we could call in favors to find out. I would like to bring this up now because I forgot to do it earlier, but we're in Waterdeep, and Safine is theoretically in Waterdeep. We could potentially try to talk to her and see if she can help us do any number of things.
Well, look what the spider dragon dragged in. As a familiar figure, Captain Dynamite's contact swaggers up in the form of Safine. Her radiant
that's
cobalt
scarily
skin.
fucked up. Don't do that again.
I kept waiting for you guys to ask him how he knew, and she was gonna make an appearance. Two
Just went
large
straight to
black
murder.
horns curve up to form almost
We
a black
really were.
halo around.
About to go off.
Y'all are
Yeah,
y'all are
bro,
murder
I was
hobos,
gonna
but
kill
not to
some.
other people. To the good people, you're just like slightly suspicious. Murder them. Truly. I'll drop a token because it's been a while since y'all have seen her. In fact, it's been 7 years since you all have seen Sathine, because she has been underground, quite literally squirreled away defending the Obsidian Dragonate. She goes, "That's good to see you, boys. I hear you've gone and stirred up some more trouble to keep things interesting. Getting bored in your retirement, are we?" And she'll take Davos's drink and take a seat.
They had to drag me out of retirements for this. Don't know what you're talking about. Shit won't
Well,
quit
that's
stirring
no
itself subs.
Well, that's
I'll look
good.
at her
An
for a second
object
and
at rest
say,
stays at rest. You needed some movement. Keep the gray
I'll
away,
look
you
at-
understand.
I'll look at her for a second and say, I didn't ask to be called out of retirement. One of them actually murdered me in the woods, so here we are.
She goes, "Well, sometimes changing up your look every now and then helps. I try to once a decade or so, keep things fresh. And really, Tabitha, I'm not one for monogamy, but you've got it planned out. As soon as you start to get that 7-year itch, he just gets a whole new look. It's keeps things interesting."
Speaking of, I like what you did with your hair. Great.
She sort of shakes it a little bit, her mane of black obsidian hair. But I don't. But she's like, "It's very keen of you to notice. A girl only gets to go out every now and then, so I try to look my best. So tell me, boys, you got anything interesting to share? Anything I can help with?"
Is it possible we can speak in private later? Tomorrow?
For you, anything.
All of us. Goldbrand goes from like, this is a
That can
marked
be fun,
difference
too.
from previous campaign. Goldbrand would have been like, eyebrow waggle. This campaign, he's like, all business.
Well, Brandy,
He wouldn't call her a pervert, but like it seems implied in his tone.
Yeah. Oh, I've been called worse by better, Suge. No, I'd be happy to, if you feel more comfortable in a secure location, but that said, and she, her eyes glow gold as she surveys the group, making a pointed stop on Arcanox, who I believe has the dragon mask. She doesn't say anything, but continues her glance about. Then, she'll drop, actually, the candle in the middle of the table. She, very carefully breathes out a small bit of dragon fire. Not so much to where it would draw a lot of attention, but just enough to where this multicolored glow goes into the candle flame. And you all feel as an aura washes over you. You are familiar enough with this spell, because I think it's happened to everybody at least once, as a zone of truth. You can try to roll to resist it, or you can choose to fail. She will know if you resist it, or if you succeed in passing the check.
Is it a
Wisdom
charisma save? I can't remember.
I want to say it's a wisdom saving throw, but I'll
I
check.
think the only reason I think it's charisma is because, not to call to things that are not here, but in a previous campaign, I played a charisma-based character that attempted to do this, I think.
It is a charisma saving throw, you're correct.
Couldn't go.
Anyone
Sure.
who wants to try to resist it can, but
Resist on this.
I think Tabitha would not try to resist it. She'll accept it. Gideon might just be like, ooh, and resist it out of habit. He rolls low. Captain Tajin would not. He trusts Sathine. Aya would not. Yuan passes. If he's the only other one who attempts to
Goldbrand cast
resist.
Dispel Magic.
You're casting Dispel Magic?
Ooh, does 17 not pass?
17 does not pass. No, not her DC.
Ooh.
Uh,
Okay, so I'm gonna use Indomitable and re-roll that.
Yike.
I was about to say, I
Is there
think
a
he
reason-
would try. Like,
I don't know. I just feel iffy. I feel iffy about this.
yeah, I don't like it either. But like, I think Goldbrand would try to dispel it. He's gonna stare her down while he does. Like, there's no
She'll-
hiding it. It's almost like or
She'll
maybe he waves.
almost hesitate. She considers counterspelling you, because I was trying my best to make you a little more comfortable, Shug. I thought you all seem a little on edge. I thought if everybody were under more honest speaking terms, you would feel a little more at ease.
That kind of
We would like to
Doesn't
speak with you
help.
tomorrow's in private.
That's a little more sure of circumstance.
She nods her head, if that need be. I would still feel more comfortable talking about what we do talk about, knowing everybody is who they say they are.
I'm not opposed to that, lady.
Likewise.
She'll recast her spell, very pointedly. I'll keep the rolls from before. I think the 25. Do you have advantage, Arcanaut? I see a 17 and a 23.
No, that was my indomitable roll. It lets me reroll
Oh,
a saving
nice.
throw.
Let me look at something real quick. Not young. There we go.
Bam.
The 23 passes. The 25 passes. She knows that both of you could lie if you so choose. But just very quickly has asked each and every person very directly, who are you? And each of them, who she knows failed, answers truthfully with their name. So you know the 4 people at the table with you, as well as, well, I guess you don't know if Zephyr's telling the truth or not, but are aware that they are all telling the truth and they are who they say they are. For whatever comfort that may provide you. She then dismisses the spell. Well, she will ask all of you to do the same, but she knows that 2 of you could lie if you wanted to. But everyone believes that everyone at the table is who they are.
I'm keeping that mask hidden. Like, nah.
That's okay. No, yeah.
I'll take someone asking.
She says, so, with you having ran off the green worm speaker, I believe that you said your next destination is Hellgate Keep, is that correct?
Considering it's... We don't have any other leads. Right?
No, you do not.
No,
You know
as far
that
as I know.
Erebus has the black mask, but you don't know where he is specifically. You know that the blue mask was taken into the Hells by the Roxasha. You also know that the white mask is with the Lich, who you believe to be at Hellgate Keep. And it seems like the natural place to go to get to the Hells if you wanted to advance from there. You might find more information out before you get to the Hells if you go that way. Tabitha says, I was worried about this. The White Worm Speaker plagued by nightmares since that night. I know we would have to deal with him sooner or later, but I was hoping to have some more time to work on this. But I guess it'll have to do. And she holds up a symbol of the Raven Queen. Very simple amulet with a silver raven skull. She goes, I've been working on this the last few nights, but I wasn't quite able to finish it. But maybe with some help, it could be of use. And she sort of gives a look to Sapphine, who her eyes glow gold again as she looks it over and goes, well, this is fine work, Tabby. But you're right, it'd take weeks to complete something this intricate. But even still, we can get it to be battle ready a little sooner. And she takes it into her palms, which begin to glow with that same multicolored dragon flame. And as it burns at the amulet, she opens her hand. It's glowing like it's like liquid hot metal, still perfectly preserved in its shape, and hands it back to her as the steam of the tavern. Oh, actually, she'll dip it in her liquor and then pass it over to Tabitha, anointing it, if you will. This should give it at least one good use, but I doubt it'll have any kick after that. Tabitha tries to put it on your neck, Yuan, but she struggles a bit, trying to latch it with her one arm.
I obviously help her.
If you start to, she says, no, I need to get used to it anyway, and she manages to do it after an awkward moment fumbling. She goes, this is an amulet of power words stop. Once, and only once it sounds like, you'll be able to counter even the most powerful magics. Essentially, it's mechanically, it's a 9th level counter spell. And only again has only one use, and it just like a regular counter spell, it could still be countered itself, but it'd be damn difficult. She is worried about you being power word killed again, and wants to try to provide you some type of protection. Do me a favor, add this to your inventory. Amulet of Power Word Stop. As she's
Got it.
doing this, Tajin will say, the Westwind Wyvern has been docked here for 2 days. We've been trying to work on repairs after our encounters with Erebus, but it should be flight-worthy by the morning. It should take us about 6 days to get to Hellgate Keep. Gideon will speak up. Dad, Hellgate Keep isn't far from Stone Stand. I'd like to swing by if we can. And you gather from his inflection that he's referring to Hydia's grave. Because while the lesser members of the Uthgar who died in the same attack were buried in other ways, Hydia is one of the highly respected members who would have a place at Stone Stand.
Entirely up to Mies. If no one else is opposed, you can visit for a moment.
I think Grunkle Davos will. I think both of you deserve it. It's a hard thing to say goodbye, but it's best done when you're face to face, or close as you can be. Gideon nods a bit in appreciation. Tajin says, that is still would not take us far off course. 5 days to Stone Stand, and perhaps one more to get to Hellgate Keep from there. If you guys have anything else to ask of this particular group, you may. And if not, we have 2 choices. We can proceed to the next morning and talk with Saphine, or Gideon. Gideon pulls out some dice and some cards and suggests some drinking games to take the edge off. You guys can do some mini games playing Texas Hold'em, craps, chugging ale, or arm wrestling, if you would like to just, goof off for a few minutes. But if not, we can proceed to the next morning's talks with Zephine before you depart.
Drinking sounds fun.
I need to use the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Go ahead. Speaking of drinking,
Right.
Or I'm definitely up for either one. I do want to talk to Saphine and get that conversation rolling. There's something we want to try to get that mask wrapped up, and we have a plan. But we need to talk to Saphine about it. I am down for drinking games as well.
Yeah.
Gorbran has a plan.
let's
Gorbran
Gideon,
heard something he didn't like.
Gideon takes a bit of a moment, like, all right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this in a few different rounds. Let's start off with some arm wrestling. And since I don't think anyone else can hold a candle to you two, Dad, Arcanox, why don't you two give it a go? We're gonna do simple arm wrestling. What you're gonna do is you're gonna roll a d6 and you're gonna add your strength modifier. You need to have 2 victories over your opponent total. Essentially, if you get 1, you're getting them close to the edge, but if they win the next one, then it goes back to the middle. You have to have 2 to pin them. Why don't you two go ahead and roll a couple of d6s for me?
Hang on a second.
Or sorry, just 1 d6 each.
Gobrand will, because he did this the last time he competed in a feat of strength, remove his belt.
Oh, what a gentleman.
It's not going to end well for him.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Yes, Goldbrand takes off his his belt of lifting, frost giant strength.
Nah, I don't know. It's the right thing to do.
All right, yeah, roll a d6. Use your new strength modifier. Arcanox, what's that total for you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I rolled 2.
That will be 11 for me.
11.
For me,
I
it
don't
is
think you can beat
6.
that.
No, yeah, because
Yeah,
mine's
so-
only +3.
Arcanox, gripping tightly, begins to push you to the edge of the table. Roll again. 1 more d6 each. Oh,
8?
You're getting old, Gully. Oh,
Yeah, I am.
But you've got a higher
Oh,
score there, I think, Arcanox.
yes, that's a 6.
6? Oh,
Wait,
so
no.
8 wins.
Wait, no, that's an 8. That's an 8.
Yeah, Yeah, you
Have a
get a
plus
plus
six. Have a plus
6
six.
modifier? That's fucked.
Yeah.
Um,
I have 22 strength. So.
okay, that sounds about right. Our Arcanox takes you to the table, and there's a cheer. You buy him a drink as part of his loss. Or excuse me, Yuan and Pandora, if you would like to arm wrestle each other, you most certainly may.
Please, that would be hilarious.
Each of you roll a
I'm
d6
down.
and then add your strength modifier, or subtract your strength modifier. More likely for you to.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay. My strength is +1.
mine is also +1.
Oh, you guys are bitterly entangled. Your neck, neither one. It's funny because this rather impressive display of strength before you guys. It's like y'all are struggling with all your might, but there's not much happening. Roll another d6 for me. Oh, that's a 5 for Pandora. And a natural 1 for Yuan. With the 1, I think Pandora takes you to the table.
Slams it. She's been drinking a little bit. She gets really excited about
It's feisty. As you guys wrap up with your arm wrestling, I'll do actually a little lightning round for Gideon, and we'll say Gideon looks at Tajin and thinks he's like, oh, Tajin's pretty ripped, but I'm gonna try. So he's gonna go for that. I'll say this first one's Gideon. Oh, he rolled a 6. Tajin with a 1 lets him win. You guys notice that Gideon's really struggling at first, and Tajin kind of like lets a little slack in, but seems to do more than he intends to, and Gideon does take him to the table. Very good, very good.
You're just gonna grow his ego, Tajin. He's gonna be cocky as hell now.
Oh, he's been at that point for quite a while. I'll do one. You know what? Sephine and Tabitha.
Tabitha, please.
No.
Gotta use her weak arm.
I was about to say she's got the one arm. I think Tabitha wants to do it. It's more of it's almost a pride thing at this point. She's handy capable, damn it. Tabitha sticks. I don't know what her modifier is. I think maybe not against Sephine though. I think maybe against Kaya would be a little bit more of a fair matchup. Because Sephine is a dragon, Tabitha's a -1. She rolled a 4. She had a 3. So Kaya, she's probably gonna be +0. She also rolled a 3. Okay, the ladies go at it again. And Tabitha does take it. Gritting down, you actually see the room almost goes. The candlelight dims a little bit as you see her eyes glow a little black as she's going and embracing her ancestry as an Aasimar to just give her that little bit of edge to push down that last bit as the priestess of the ravens goes up against the raven Uthgar. Just seems a fitting matchup. We're going to do a different one now. We're going to shift gears. Gideon orders several rounds. We are going to do a chucking contest. The way this is going to be done is you get to roll d6s. You cannot go over 21. Whoever can get the closest to 21 without going over and with using as few dice as possible will win. So everyone start off by rolling 3d6. I'll say Gideon's playing this with you. Oh, a 6, a 5, and a 4. That's a 15. That's pretty solid. You can now choose if you want to take another one. Gideon is. Oh, he rolled really well. 10, 19. I think he's going to.
What number was it that we were trying not to go over?
21.
Oh, okay.
Think of it like blackjack. You can either hit with another d6 or you can hold. What's everybody at?
I'm at 10.
I'm at 11.
Goldbrand's gonna hold at 17 with one extra
Gideon's
Yeah,
dice.
9 and then 1.
Gideon's holding at 19, just so you know if that sways you at all, Goldbrand.
Guess I got no choice, huh?
I mean, if you want
Roll
to.
another.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yep.
roll another.
Oh, 20 with
Oh no!
5 dice roll.
I'm
Excellent.
at 21.
Barbara got 21?
Ooh. I
Does
think
anyone
she
else-
wins.
Does anybody else want to try to roll to get to that or see if they bust?
I got 14.
Arcanoc's just chugging down the beers. He's got.
Yeah, I got a 15 on that dice.
19.
Oh, no, wait. Hold on. I might have got a 22. I can't count. Hold on, 16. No, I'm at 22. I went over I went
Oh.
one over.
Oh,
Pandora,
I'll roll
as she's rounding her 5th or 6th ale, just turns a little green and tosses some cookies off to the side. Where's everybody at now? Goldbrand?
20.
Well, now
What?
I'm at 0 because I tossed my cookies.
Yeah.
20.
20?
Get
Uh,
start over.
I'm gonna have to roll another if I want to win. I'm at 18 right now.
You
All
3.
right. I'm at 6
You
shots with 19.
I hit 21.
Ooh, 2 21s. Which of, or no, just 1 21. Archinox, do you want to roll another?
Yeah, I'll try it. Fuck.
Is that a
Bye-bye.
22?
You bust.
Oh
Alright,
no!
well,
Anyways.
Archinox,
If you hit a
having
21,
drunk,
you win.
having drunk many more than the rest of you, Archinox ends up tossing cookies as well. Just a little bit. You guys are
Burns through the table.
yeah. It's boiling as it comes up. With that, I think that Yuan with a 21 does take the cake. You know what? Gideon's gonna roll one more. He was at a 20. Wait, I have it down.
I thought he was at 17. Oh, no, that's what I
No,
was
he
at
was
for a
at
roll
9.
again.
He was at
He was at
he
a
was at
20.
19. If he can roll a 3, he rolled a 4.
Not
He ends
fair.
up
Yuan's
tossing
got
cookies
like
as well.
3 people in one. He's got more constitution.
Yeah,
That's exactly what it is.
Fair,
He's
Archinox,
drinking for 3.
if I were to do this again, I would say whoever could have the most without going over, because that means you drank more beers. You know, so I think that Archinox probably should have won that if
Yeah, I
someone
rolled
didn't
so
get
many times.
if someone didn't get to 21. So very good. Next, we're gonna do a quick game of craps. For those of you who don't know how to play, this is simple. It's just 2d6. What you're doing is you're trying to get a 7 or an 11. Certain numbers like 2, 3, and 12 automatically lose. And if no one gets a 7 or 11, the highest number wins. So you're going for 7,
11, my favorite.
7 or 11. So everybody roll 2d6. Gideon got a 9.
Oh, I got a 7.
Ooh, is that everybody?
I got a 9.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2,
Yeah,
3,
I got
4. Yeah. Pandora, you take the first hand. Let's roll a couple more of these. 2d6.
Okay.
All right, 2d6
Gideon got a
again.
9 again.
3.
A 7
it's just one.
again.
Hang on.
Let's say 2d6.
Wow.
Oh, I also
My
rolled
lucky
7.
number.
Oh,
10.
okay. Devin and Pandora got a 7. Why don't you two each roll 2d6 for me? Final hand.
10.
9.
Because neither one of you got a 7 or 11, and neither one of you got one of the numbers that loses, Goldbrand wins because he had the highest number.
Oh, I
So,
was gonna say we can roll again. I want to keep
Yeah.
rolling.
We'll do one last hand of these. One more 2d6. Got a big 5 showing.
7.
Ooh, also
Three
got
sevens.
sevens.
Wow. look
This
at
is the
that.
part
I'll-
where it's like 2 a.m. and they're all super drunk. It's just fucking.
The table from the second story just goes fucking crazy. All of you roll another 2d6 for me. Or excuse me, those 3 of you who got 7s, roll 2d6 for me.
Oh, 3. That
Oh, a
one.
3's an auto loss. An 8 wins. Goldbrand, you win 2 of the 3 hands. You get your drink spot for you from around the party. It's all coming from your bank anyway, so it don't really
Pandora's
matter,
just
but it's
drunk
fun.
throwing dice now.
Mhm.
Just takes all the dice.
I rolled a 19. Like, what?
Oh.
Oh, fantastic. All right, we'll do one last game. This is a modified version of Texas Hold'em. So what you're going to do is everyone is going to privately roll to me 2d12. I think on the dice thing, there should be a thing to do like 2GM.
Yeah, GM roll
Yeah.
at the top.
GM roll? Yeah,
Yeah.
2d12.
At the top. Explain to me where the top is, please.
When you hit the dice roller, at the top
Aha!
of the dice roller, there'll be a
Thank
GM roll. So
GM.
these are the 2 cards you have in your hand. Think of it, instead of there being multiple face cards, a 12 is just a face. Or excuse me, no.
A 12 would be like a king or a queen.
So,
right?
so 1 is an ace. 2 through 9 are the number value. 10 is a jack. 11 is a queen, and 12 is a king. So those are the cards that you have in your hand. Now for
suits
the
matter?
river, no, we're just for simplicity's sake. Now, let's say it is say it's Kaya who's dealing for this. She lays out 3 cards for the river. So it looks like a 9, a queen, and a 2.
Mm.
So anyone who wants to can raise the bet. I should have asked for all of you are going to put down,
Four.
let's say 5 gold. Yeah, and I should have let you do it when you saw just your hand, but we'll say for expedience sake, we're trimming down the fat a little bit. So there's 5 gold from each of you in the pot. For we won't count Davos in this. So there's 5 players. That's 25 gold.
God, we don't have buttons. Who goes first?
Raise.
Okay.
Yeah, what do you raise by?
It's 5 in the pot. I'm gonna raise it by another 5.
Okay.
Okay, what's the goal here?
Oh, I'm sorry. So Texas Hold'em, you would either be looking for like multiples of a kind, like I have 2 9s, or you'd be looking for like a straight, like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Several hands. Yeah.
Yeah, there's several different ways to win, but those are the 2 main ones that are most likely. You could have a royal flush, which would be the 12, 11, 10, maybe the 1, and then either a 9 or a 2.
Royal means
We'll let
they're
it
all
flow
the same
both ways.
suit. Yeah, so you either want like 2, 3, 4, 5 together, or you want 2 of the same number or 3 of the same number.
Well,
probably
2, 3, 4, 5. You would need 5 in a row for it to be a flush, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
called a straight. If because
Straight,
they're
excuse
suits,
me.
that's called straight. Yeah, straight is like of the 7 or 8 good hands. Straight is like top 3 or 4. And then you have like 2 pair and 3 pair, which would be like 2 of the same number or 3 of the same number. Those are like they're some of the most common hands, but not quite the best.
That's
But,
good.
It's
Yeah,
also
4 of a
weighted,
kind.
so like 2 queens is weighted better than like 2 2s. So it's
Yeah, exactly.
So in this
Okay.
instance,
So-
2 11s is better than 2 2s.
So Goldbrand, would you raise or would you fold?
He said he
Or
raised by
not
5.
raise. Would you meet it or would you fold?
Wait,
Yeah, yes,
No,
is
I-
the
I-
is
I
the
would-
pool is
The pool's
the
25.
buy-ins 5?
The
Yes,
the
Okay,
small
buy-ins
blind
5.
is 5.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to double it. That seems kind of crazy. I'm gonna throw in like an extra 2.
Okay, so he raises by 2.
Nah,
Goldbrand?
Goldbrand was in 15.
15. Do you meet his 13, you on?
Jeez.
Well, everyone
guess I'll
gets a
match it.
chance to meet my 15.
But since he's already raised, I'm gonna give him the choice.
I'll
You
match
wanna
it.
meet that?
Let's go.
You'll match it? Okay. Arcanox, do you want to
Yeah, I'll match.
add in 15?
Yeah, I'll match. Yeah.
Okay. Barbara.
Yeah, sure. I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to throw some coins down.
Yeah.
I'm so
All right.
sorry.
Kaya adds another hand to the pot. It's a 4. Anybody else want to raise?
Technically,
Going once.
so for context, in
I'm
real
gonna
poker,
hold.
in real hold'em, there's a specific order that you go in, and that dictates a lot
Yeah.
of your action because certain people get to go first and some people get to go at the end. But Goldbrand will raise another 20 gold.
20.
Damn,
crazy.
Goldbrand.
Goldbrand betting a total of 40 if you count his buy-in. Do y'all meet his $20 raise?
Fine, I'll match.
I think oh gosh. I think Gideon is
Arcanox
likewise
folded.
going
I'm
to-
gonna match.
Pandora.
I'll throw in coins because Pandora's so drunk that she's just excited to
Doesn't know
be
what's going
pulling
on.
cards.
All right, final
Give us
card
the
on the river.
river. Give us the river.
6. All right.
So close.
I think Gideon is showing a pair of 4s.
Goldbrand also has a single pair of 4s.
Oh, okay. Same hand.
I got a pair of queens.
Oh, there you go. Excellent. So, you take the pot. This is gonna add.
Wait, what did
I
Burb?
think we got
What did Burb have? Burb, you have a 9, a 9, 11, a 2, and what were your other 2 rolls?
My rolls were let's see, 7 and 10.
Oh,
7.
that's rough, buddy.
There's
Wait,
unfortunately,
yeah,
almost
there's
almost a
8,
straight.
9.
almost
Yeah,
a straight.
almost.
She actually got an
Yeah.
11. Hold on. 7, 8 is
There's
on
not
the,
an
no
8.
8's not on the
There's
board.
not an
Never mind.
8.
Yeah,
That's what I was
yeah.
looking
That's
for.
the one she's missing, but so close. So do me a favor, add 40 gold to your pot, or excuse me, to the bag of holding as you win Gideon's money as well as everybody else's. But that would wash out. Do you want to do one more hand?
Yeah.
Don't do this
Yeah.
to me.
Now that Pandora's
Instead
like,
of
I know the rules now. So
Instead of
everybody
watching
throws
a
in.
movie, we're gonna play poker next time.
Everyone throws in 5 gold to the pot. Everyone roll your d12s,
In fact, it's called an ante.
2 d12s
Ooh.
for everybody. I don't know why I did it on the screen because
Mm.
I've been rolling everything else down here. Okay, so everybody got your You're 2 in? Think so?
Mhm.
I'm going to roll does anybody want to raise before we do this? We'll do this hand properly.
I'll raise.
I'm gonna hold.
Okay.
Oh,
How much
God.
do you raise by Pandora?
We'll start with 5 because that's
Okay.
what we started
Yeah.
at. So
I'm
that's a good
right.
increment.
Anybody add to that? Or anybody fold?
I'll meet.
Okay.
Also,
Everybody meet?
me. That's called limping. Fun fact.
Oh, I rolled d20. I'm sorry. Ignore that.
I was like, what?
A 2, a 6, and an 11, which would be a queen in the river. Everybody take a moment. Gideon will raise by 5 more.
I'll meet.
Goldburn will
So
raise
the
by
11's the
20.
queen.
11's a queen,
Oh.
yes, sir. Raised by 20.
Yeah.
Okay. Pot is now 35. Gideon will meet you.
I'll meet.
It's called call.
There should be
Fancy.
there should be an insight check for Poker Face.
I can't remember. I played.
Yeah,
Is that
I'm
actually
gonna-
what it's called? I haven't played poker in so long.
It is, yeah. So the first bet's an ante. If you call someone's bet, you meet someone's bet. If someone makes a bet and everyone calls that bet, it's called limping in. It's not
Yeah.
good poker strategy to limp.
Not for too long, anyway.
Yeah,
Um,
See, I don't know. as
Yeah,
much.
whatever, I'll call.
Leon knows about poker.
That's funny.
Yeah, I see your 20, and I'm gonna add 20 more.
Oh, total of 55 in the pot.
You want to raise to 40, or you're gonna call 20? Because you can re-raise
Well,
is the term to 40,
See, y'all adding all these
and then
rules.
we all
Well,
have to go back
hey,
around and meet
Yeah,
40.
I'm putting in 40. I'm putting in 40 altogether.
So now
I'm
we
meeting your
all
20
have
and
to
putting 20.
Yeah,
go back and
Does
call
anyone
again.
want to fold, or does anybody
Add
want to
another
go
20.
ahead?
I'll call to 40.
I'm gonna
Okay.
call it too.
Pandora, you calling or you folding?
Calling, because that means keep going, right?
Yes,
Yep.
that means add
All
21.
right. So the pot is now 55 gold pieces. Gideon looks at all of you. He kind of squints a bit. He'll meet as well. All right. Next card in the river is a 6. It means there's 2 6s showing. Gideon will raise by 20.
Goldburn will call.
Okay. Arcanox, you won. Pandora, do y'all
Someone has
call
a-
or fold?
Someone's gonna end
Raising
up
by
with a full
20.
house, and I'm gonna be upset.
Same as last time, man. 20 more. We're doing 40.
20
I
more.
was gonna
All right.
re-raise him again.
You're crazy.
Goldburn
I'm
will
running
call.
out of dice.
I mean, whatever. All's fair in love and war. I'm calling. Let's do it.
I'm calling just because everybody else is doing it.
The
Peer
best
pressure.
part about not using real money is you can just call everything and see how the hand goes.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
This is 95, if I'm not mistaken, total. Oof.
Damn.
It's
Go.
spicy.
It's a pretty big pot.
For real, though. 95 per. Excellent. Final card is a 4. All right. So, what do we got? Gideon shows a pair of 2s and a pair of 6s. 2 pair.
I also have 2
Twos and
pair,
sixes.
a pair of
What'd you got?
2s and a pair of 6s. Like, wow.
That's the
all
second
right.
time y'all have
Yeah.
matched. That's so funny.
Stop.
2s and 6s. Holy shit. I got queens and 6s.
Okay,
Ooh,
that's high.
Queens
That's,
is weighted.
Ooh.
that's
Yeah.
high hand.
You on? You got anything?
No, I definitely lost. I only got a pair of 2s.
Barbara, got anything?
Not unless you let me roll a sleight of hand to cheat.
You roll.
Bro,
You can roll a sleight of hand. Everybody else roll an insight. We'll see.
I
27.
Oh,
Wait a minute.
Arc with a natural
Snatch
20
the paw.
and the winning hand prevents you from like swapping your cards. Very deft
Yeah.
move. It's
That's
funny because
so-
normally,
That's so
I-
arc.
yeah, I was about to say the way
That's
I
a
see this
that's
is
a plus 0.
Arc would normally
I know her trick.
probably let you do this and we would pick up on it because of you working together for so long. But with him with the winning hand, he's like
No. It's mine. It's mine.
Fantastic. Add 95 gold to the bag of holding for me, my guys.
Mm.
know-
We are. Sorry, go ahead, David.
I know my inner poker player came out there, but I like to think Goldbrand is also clueless. You know, kind of like Pandora, and is literally just shoveling gold in there because he sees other people doing it.
It's like,
With
ooh,
more
shiny.
Yeah, Goldbrand has little use for gold anyway. All right, this lady traded me. I didn't even need to use gold for my shopping spree. Um, with that, we are drawing close to midnight. We can take it here, or we can play for another 30 minutes and have a discussion with Safine and potentially a meeting at Stone Stand. How do we
Yeah,
feel?
we do.
I do want to have that talk with Safine if y'all are feeling it. I need to go pee.
I would
though.
like to keep going just a little bit.
Yeah, I can go.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, Devin, if you want to pee, I'll do some brief narration. You guys enjoy the rest of your night. It is nice after such a long stretch of combat to be able to just blow off some steam and drink and play games with, honestly, some of your greatest allies here. I mean, Tabitha, Sabine, Captain Tajine, Gideon. These people have fought at your side. Some of them you've had to fight against. And it's does a lot for everyone's morale just to be able to relax a bit and breathe a little easier. Even the rest of the crew of the Westwind Wyvern who are not directly engaging in the games are jovial. This has brought an air of liveliness that you could tell the crew desperately needed, especially after the death of two of their crewmates, which Tajine is happy to spread around what you guys have said. Or no, actually, Tajine doesn't know. Captain Dynamite knows. Oh, we have 3 Dragonborn captains, and it's that's a lot to keep up with.
Oh yeah.
So, the crew does. I imagine at some point tonight, you guys would tell everybody, like in the morning, we're going down and we're bringing Penelope and Vulcan back. And that just adds to the excitement. You guys have you don't put y'all have had dozens of drinks at this point, and not one of them have you had to pay for. The crew is just keeping them flowing towards you continuously. Um, you guys have your rest for the night. Your rooms paid for by the crew. Your breakfast paid for by the crew. Your dinner, if you choose to have it tonight, paid by the crew. All of you can go ahead and hit that long rest button if you have not already. I think we pretty much did last week, but if you didn't, now's the time. Some of your magic items might also need to have more charges if you are one of those people. You probably know what to do. As we awaken at the tavern the next day, you are around the same booth. I should have mentioned earlier, these are private booths reserved for the Lords of Waterdeep. And Tabitha and Safine are both open Lords of Waterdeep and are enjoying that privilege. As such, a very hearty breakfast is before you: thick cut bacon, a hearty bit of eggs and bread and fruit. Just a beautiful
Grits.
spread. Grits. Yeah, sure. Grits, oatmeals, if you so choose. Even flapjacks. There is a very healthy, hearty breakfast laid before you guys. As you are eating, Safine,
Ice cream for breakfast.
ice cream for breakfast. Safine joins you guys at this table. Right now, it's just the 5 of you and Safine. And she'll do something similar as she did last night. She'll place her hand in the flame of the candle, and she'll swirl the smoke a bit. And as the smoke swirls upward, it comes down in a cone around all of you. And the noise from the bar is muffled. Everything beyond this cone is incomprehensible, and vice versa. This is a cone of silence for all intents and purposes. You guys can speak to each other, but cannot be overheard, and you cannot hear anything occurring outside of the cone. It is a secure space. Tabitha will ask, well, you boys are keeping this awfully close to the chest. I guess that's a nice change of pace. Normally, y'all do a little too much talking for my liking. What's the news?
You heard her, you ons. You talk too much.
It's never me. It's always you, blabbermouth.
Well, I'd say, I think you were the one to almost spill the beans last night.
I would look over, and for just a moment, I would say, I appreciate your kindnesses. Honestly, I kind of want to cut to the chase.
Of course.
I need a favor, if you don't mind.
What can we do for you?
Specifically, I assume you have the capabilities to protect an area from divination magic of sorts, scrying, things like that.
Indeed.
Um, if you wouldn't mind, I would like to find a secure location. It could be a point of your choosing. And I would ask that you cast and maintain that spell. I need an hour.
An hour. Yeah, I may have said that you've given too much information, but now I feel like you've given a little too little. I don't want specifics if you don't want to divulge them, but some context would be nice.
The less you know, the better this works.
And I look around the table and say, and unfortunately, that does go for all. The less you know, the better. It's actually the only way this will work.
If you're regarding what's in your pocket, I would be happy to offer my services in providing more information about it. But if you so choose, I'm happy to provide you with that protection. Although I should mention, your amulet there does protect you in particular, and those things on your person from being noted. But I get that you might want a little reinforcement.
Yes, it is. It's part of what I'm trying to do. I understand that I'm protected, but there may be things that are not when I enact certain parts of my plan. So I needed more power than what I can actually muster myself.
Fair enough. No, I'd be happy to do that for you. Is there anything I can help you with? Identify anything? Destroy something?
Since she offered, how long would it take her to tell us something about the mask, I guess?
Identify, I think, is only a minute.
It sounds like she knows
No.
you have the book.
Oh, she was
Oh.
speaking of the mask. She does notice there's other things on you, but the mask is something that is stands out enough to where
Destroy
she's
something?
aware of it. She did mention that. So detect magic does not tell her what it is. But she knows you have a powerful necromantic artifact on you. So she did say that, but she doesn't know what it is. Identify is a 1-minute spell that she's happy to do.
I think with all of us being around the table, I feel like I trust her enough to identify it. Does she have to
We are
touch it
in
to
a-
do this?
We are in a public space. Do not let Art take that out.
Oh, that's fair. I would
We
say
could take this upstairs if you boys would like it. My bed's quite sizable. Plenty of room.
Yeah, whatever private space you had in mind for the protection against divination would probably suffice for this as well, if you would lead the way.
Certainly. She takes you upstairs, and there is a rather lavish suite that you gather is set aside for the lords. Very large 4-post bed.
Water
with,
deep, not
beautiful-
Nightstone.
Did I say nightstone?
No, I was just clarifying.
Oh, I see. As you make your way, the nice 4-post bed with very beautiful silk drapes around it. You see a fine vanity that is gilded, as well as just a variety of beautiful artwork. The rugs here are very plush, and everything in here reeks of comfort and not ostentatious. Oh fuck! I blanked on the word. So there you go. It reeks of it. She does assure you that the space is secure. If you need to pull anything out, whip it on out if you got it, boys.
I would meet eyes with the rest of the group before agreeing, I guess. Make sure we get some nods.
How secure?
She goes, "Do you think I would let just anyone peep in on me, son?"
I don't have detect magic, I don't think.
She
Are
will.
you are you implying that this entire space is protected from divination magic?
She she'll snap her fingers, um, and you'll see that there is an arcane lock on the door. That underneath one of the rugs is a very large. The rug you're standing on is a very large circle that illuminates brightly. So even through the rug, you can see is protection against scrying. You see that there is also a number of wards to prevent teleportation. This space seems to be one that she inhabits rather frequently, and she has gone to a bit of great lengths to make sure that she is protected while she is here. There's even runes of silence that you gather prevent sound from carrying through the walls or windows, and the windows have curtains that are drawn tight.
Not sure what it is you plan on doing, but now might be the times.
Before I proceed with that, I'll look at Arcanauts and say, "You heard her, big boy. It's time to whip it out."
Yeah, Arcanarch is gonna reluctantly produce the green mask from behind his breastplate. Hand it over.
Not really. she goes.
Goldbrand wants to watch Safine and make sure she does not go to grab it, because now I'm just paranoid at everything. He just wants to keep an eye open, make sure she isn't.
She will. She sees you're apprehensive. She says, "I will need to touch it, but I won't take it from you."
Inside check.
I mean, I kind of trust her as like gemstone dragons are not naturally evil aligned. I think we would know if she was evil aligned. Like she should be naturally disposed to oppose Tiamat.
Yeah,
you know, like,
she is. Remember, she is one of the. Arcanox is the champion of her god, of her creator.
Yeah,
She is very closely aligned to you guys. She does touch the object, places her hand between the eye holes, and her eyes grow that familiar golden color.
I just don't shit like that.
She sensually runs her hand down the nose. Well, I've heard about these things for an awful long time, but this is the first time I've been able to get my hands on one. Seems to do quite a bit. You can increase your resistance to poison, make you, and including to being up to absorption if you're already immune to poison. If you're not wearing armor, you can increase your AC. It helps you regenerate your breath weapon, gives you dark vision, and can grant you blind sight for a time. You can speak and understand Draconic, even the ancient stuff. The things that were on the Nightstone, for example. It also helps you have more sway over Green Dragon. It even gives you a little bit of their resilience, mechanically, a legendary resistance. Allows you to breathe underwater. Well, this is rather interesting. When you first attune to it, the Queen will be able to see you for a brief instant. Doesn't have the ability to monitor you permanently, but you would want to be protected from scrying if you were to equip it. It seems that she is aware when someone becomes a worm speaker.
It'd be a good way to issue a challenge.
Indeed. Quite a bold statement piece. I've killed your bitch and taken her bling, just sends a message, My question is, what do you plan to do with it? It's not curse, for what that's worth. You're not going to be obliged to the Dragon Queen. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, the one you had previously, the Blue Mask, was taken from someone who used it for their own means. Unfortunately for them, they tried to use it to take over Imrith, who is a vicious bitch at best. I think his statue still is standing in the ruins of Asgore, if I'm not mistaken.
Yuwon says he has plans, but he won't tell me what it is.
And I'll look at it for a second, and I'll look at Arcanox, who mentioned the idea of putting it on as a challenge. And I'll I'll look at him and say, I understand the temptation's strong. There were very few repercussions to putting the mask on, but simply put, it's too powerful. I don't trust it. And I have a plan to hopefully keep it out of the hands of those who may intend to use it for harm. If everyone agrees, I will take the item, and I'll see you all shortly.
How do we feel about
And
that?
before he
man?
even waits for the agreement, I'm going to go ahead and take the mask in my hand, pick it up, and start walking
Wow.
towards like a private room or a space somewhere in the back of this area.
It's one of the few people I do trust. So
I don't know. Do we even trust you on shit?
If it makes you feel any better, Arks, if we wears them, they can be taken. If we put it away,
this is awesome.
it cannot be used. And we will have chances to get more, I think. Wouldn't you like a red one instead of a green ones?
I'm not talking about wearing it. I'm just saying, like, if we ever need to get a hold of her and lure her somewhere, it's always an option.
That's a fair...
Sapphine will say, I hope wherever you're putting it is going to be very well squirreled away. Just taking it somewhere will not prevent them from finding it.
And I didn't.
If you're planning something extra dimensional, that would be a nice start. That should protect it from anything I can imagine. But I do want to voice that this is a tool for great means. If you having it in your arsenal wouldn't be a bad idea. But I understand your concern. If you choose to keep it, I can provide you with another amulet like your own, protect you from being scryed upon. But I'll leave that all up to you.
Corbin looks questioningly at Yuan. He don't know what he just knows Yuan has a plan.
I'll look at her for a second and I'll say, I appreciate your concern. We had one of these in our possession in the past, and it was taken away by questionable means. I intend to put this one somewhere in such a way that hopefully that is not a concern in the future. I'm not even certain that I'll be able to retrieve it, but I guess we'll see.
Because sounds like a high risk, high reward kind of situation.
Hey, worst case scenario, they can't get it either.
Yeah. And it certainly won't stop them from performing the ritual, but it'll remove the chance of certainty.
I will take the mask to a back room, the smallest space I can find. Like, I want to be like inside of a closet, inside of a bedroom.
I'll say that there's a wardrobe within her room if you wanted to, be squirreled away, still being safe in the, non-scrying area.
Cool. I'll close the door, and then I'm gonna do the craziest thing I've ever done. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cast the wish spell.
Okay,
I'm going to cast it.
Okay.
To cast another spell that I do not know, but that I should have the ability to cast with this spell.
Through wish, all things are possible. What spell are you casting?
And because it removes any, it just happens instantaneously and removes any components, I'm going to cast Simulacrum and clone myself.
Interesting. Okay.
Now that I have burned my 9th level spell, I am going to cast an 8th level Demiplane. And I'm going to sort of shape out the idea of a door on the wall in front of me inside of this enclosure. I'm going to look at the simulacrum and say, follow me. And we're going to enter my personal demiplane. Which I will display in here so you can see it.
Yeah, I'm reading it now.
I'm going to make it essentially a stone room that has no character, no charisma, nothing. It's just a 30 by 30 cube of stone.
Proof.
I'm going to look at the simulacrum and I'm going to say, you protect this with everything that's in you, with your very life. If anything comes for you, you have a few items that can give you a speedy escape. For one, the spell we just cast, which nobody should be aware of because the space we're in. Two, you have plane shift at your disposal. You can teleport yourself and the mask from this area to anywhere else, any other plane, including back to me. If you see anyone but myself invade this space, you choose one of those two spells, and you retreat back to me with the mask immediately. Do you understand?
You will nod you too, if you will
Yeah.
nod his head. You said there are certain items at your disposal. He does not have your equipment.
He does not have my equipment, but he does have all of my spell slots, as long as I had not expended them when I created him, which is why I made him first. So he should have access to
Well,
his
you
8th level spell
cast-
slot.
You cast Wish to create him. So he
Right.
should have 8, but nothing else. Yeah.
Right,
So
so he
he-
has
Or
two
not nothing
spells,
else,
an
but-
8th level spell slot and a 7th level spell slot, which can get him out of this demi-plane if he needs to.
Absolutely. Interesting. Okay.
And then,
You will need, as part of this, Ruby.
so
100 and...
Wish removes
it's-
the need for any kind of
Oh, you are
components
correct.
for the
Sorry,
spell.
yes. Fantastic. Okay, no, you're all
I didn't
good.
like plan this all week or anything. Don't worry about it.
No, I love it.
6 hours today or some shit.
Fantastic. You have created your duplicate. You have bestowed it with a mask. You have given it the arsenal to reach you, communicate with you, do whatever it needs to. Do you do anything else before you leave the space?
I'm not going to leave it with any items or anything. I don't think it'll really need them because its only directive is if something comes for this, get out, come to me. That's it. I'm going to leave the space and then I'm going to sit down on the floor in the closet and I'm going to wait 1 hour for that door to dissipate before I walk out.
You could dismiss it sooner if you wish, but you may
Oh,
wait the
okay.
hour if you choose.
In that case, I'll wave my hand, close the door, make sure that nothing is coming in behind it, and then
Like Narnia
walk
sailing
out.
behind you, the hidden door, which cannot be opened by anyone but you, and can be opened anywhere you so choose, fades into the wood grain. Very interesting, Yuan. I think you have done a very good job of protecting this. As you step out, Stephanie goes, I've been waiting for you to come out of the closet for some time. I think me and Tabitha are going to be very happy again.
Oh man, I'll look at her and say, curiosity at most, but you're okay.
It was the accent was my first tip off, you know.
Ooh.
Ultrons often nap in closets. Goldbrand looks very confused. Scratches his beard.
When a man needs
Alex-
privacy, he finds the smallest space he can, and he occupies it.
I'll tell you when you're older, Goldbrand.
You're much different than Vicuras.
Well, boys,
Oh boy.
anything else that you need that needs attention? And she will give a little bit of, not a pointed look, but her glance will linger on you on a little longer than anybody else.
Oh man, I meant to do this before I walked in the closet. I meant to when I picked up the mask, toss the book down and say, "What do you think about this?" Before I go to the closet for 15 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, do a little bit of retconning. As you take out the book, A Vile Darkness, Saphine will, not recoil, but you see visible distaste and disgust on her face. She goes, that is absolutely vile. Nothing good can come of this. And I'm surprised you've managed to hold on to it this long. She looks
I know
at
it.
you a little closer, and she sees the sunken eyes, the lips that are a little chapped, the few streaks of gray in your blue hair. And she did not know you before any of these took place. But you see her taking note of all of them.
I'll look at her for just a second and I'll say, you know, when I first picked this up, I thought, I can handle this. I can change it. I can wield this for the powers of good.
I can change him.
But, exactly. But the longer I've held it, the more I've realized that I don't know what this thing contains, and honestly, it does not seem to fit the person that I want to be. You seem the right person to handle this in the correct way, the person to dispose of, destroy, whatever it is that you need to do to get rid of it.
She will shake her head. You say you don't know what it contains, but this thing contains multitudes. Millennia of knowledge that was not meant to see the light of day. I cannot destroy this more than I could destroy the sun.
Oh.
This is eternal. I don't even know how one would go about doing it. And frankly, I don't want it.
Well then.
The thing of this is that if you were to do something truly good, you wouldn't have it on your person anymore. And the longer you have it, the more it's going to draw you to do something evil. And while I'm morally gray myself, I can't say I've never dipped my toe across that line. It's a slippery slope.
Yeah, my primary reason for keeping this was hoping that it would not fall into the hands of those who might use it to do more harm than good. But it does seem to be weighing me quite heavily. If you cannot dispose of it, I will continue carrying it for now. However, at my earliest convenience, I'll be a good Samaritan of sorts and see if I can't rid myself of this curse.
She'll nod her head. And seems a little uncomfortable, which is odd for Seppi. She's normally a very unbothered type of person. And I think that adds to the gravity of the situation. That seeing this have this effect on such an ancient and powerful creature does give you all a little bit of pause as to what kind of literature your friend has been reading. She sort of shakes it off and goes, well, unless you're going back in that closet, I assume we're done here?
No, once you come out, there's no going back.
Good damn, dude.
Maybe toned down version of Goldbrand as he looks at her supposedly very large bed, back at her and waggles his eyebrows, but that would be it. He wouldn't say anything. Maybe a very what's the TikTok term now? A very demure waggle of his eyebrows.
Demure.
Very demure.
Her eyebrow cocks a little bit and she goes, I don't think you can handle me, big boy.
Woo.
I might have some help. Looks around vaguely, frantically. Nah, he's.
Oh god.
I look at Goldbrand. I'm like, I lost an arm wrestling contest to a cat, so.
Oh, beautiful.
It's
Fantastic.
Like, it's like he's trying, but his heart's not in it. So he's just gonna smile and exit with the party.
She will allow you all to go. She says she's going to stay in. She's going to gather up some things. She has to head out soon. You guys head downstairs. Tajine is there with the crew. They are wrapping up their breakfast and informs you that's We should be good to go. We've gathered provisions for the next few days, as well as made sure that the ship is in working order. Little cosmetic damage, but she's ready to fly. You guys have anything to do in the city of Waterdeep before departure?
I'd like to find a certain Gale of Waterdeep and chop off his arm.
Yeah.
I don't know why
Careful,
we
he'll
hate
think you're
Carry
coming
me off
on
the
to
magic
him.
boot.
Didn't know we hate Gale.
I don't wanna
Apparently
eat
we
his
hate
boots.
Gale. Okay.
I'm sorry, I just saw your messages. You know who you are. My apologies for not saying this sooner. So Arcanox, your spell has got counterspelled. I need you to roll a. No, I'm kidding. Fantastic. Nothing else in the city then?
Before we
like-
leave, I would just like to have a small moment with Tabitha.
Sure. Well, she's going with you on the ship if that helps at all. But
Oh, that does help. I'll talk to her when we're traveling then. Never mind.
Everyone goes to see
Uh,
the ocean, but for like 5 minutes.
well, Goldbrand actually has something else to do with the ocean. The crew of the Wyvern, who had just 2 days ago pulled into port, their bodies taken to the city of the dead to be prepared to be buried, are instead led through the streets with Tabitha, a censer between her hands, burning the incense and guiding the dead to a little spot known as Barbarian's Bath. And there, a cleric of Helm and a cleric of Lathander stand before the two bodies as they are laid onto wooden rafts and drifted out to the ocean. The clerics follow with them until they are waist deep in the water. And then when the sun beams through, the light of the spires of the churches falling over the sands of the beach, they begin to pray. And pray in a language that is not common, that I don't believe any of you speak. Davos would probably recognize it. But it's almost a combination of singing and the sound of the universe made. And as this melody rings throughout the air, each of these priests takes a diamond and sinks it into the chest of their respective corpses. As the raft begins to sink and both of them disappear under the water, nothing happens. Until finally, the two figures burst from the water, gasping for air, as Penelope and Vulcan have returned to life. The crew of the Wyvern, the crew of the Inferno, who, knowing that this was going to take place, have joined you. Even Snapmaw and the ocean itself rises from behind them and celebrates the return of two of their great allies.
Oh, yay.
I believe that we're going to call it a night there. A beautiful
Good
end
stuff.
to a beautiful session. I was surprised several times tonight, and I think that's a great way to play the game. With that, we thank you for joining us. We hope that all of you know we love you very much, and that you do your best to stay out of trouble. With that,
I think you're alright.
Signing off like a damn fucking Mr. Rogers episode here.
Love you, neighbor. We will see you next week as we head to Stone Stand and beyond. Find out what awaits our party members.
Death and chaos.
Till then, deuces. Keep rolling.